SBM Intelligence, foremost, company where be say they handle things. We consign all of the survey and all that. In fact, SBM Intelligence, na African focused market intelligence, security analysis, and strategic consulting firm that exists to provide analysis of West African socio-political and economic situation through such means as many prove to be expedient. So part of the things we say they do, they even use word of mouth, they do thorough work. Not be say they could just sit down, use phone alone, do their work. And a part of the method we say they employ for this particular report, we say they do like this. And this report right now, don't they cause a lot of panic and people they talk about them. And that's now within ABC we go look at tonight. Now, that particular report look at three major candidates or contestants for inside no, all the contestants, all the frontline contestants for this 2027 election, including Amici, including Kwankwaso, and which of them come out tops based on waiting people talk, say they go fit to. Which of them come out second, which of them come out third, and how Nigerians then say they go use vote. How many of these Nigerians then get voters card? How many of them express willingness say they go vote? But geopolitical zone, waiting be the people then we say they go vote, come vote according to the geopolitical zones. All of these issues are more and within ABC will carry come today. And we'll say make we even look at them so that we'll fit educate our people, make them know within ABC they happen and make we look the truth behind this particular one. And this one, remember, say if they come at a time where ABC, a lot of people like Sheikh Oshomame, for instance, don't get interview where ABC they talk, say, President Tinubu, he go get more votes for East, he go get more votes for South, past the way he get before. And all that, even for not say go get more vote, that means say it would be very easy for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to win this election. And people say, if it go there easy for him like this, then where can live the complaint, where people they complain about whether he don't perform or not, or maybe that's complain I just wash, not be waiting a say get head at all. Where all of this and more matters might be so we want to discuss with on this evening. And Dr. Catch going to join us as we look at the truth behind this report. That one will be after this break. Make I just go drink small water, drop cup, and they come back. Stay with us. Good evening. Welcome to Updated Precious. Another beautiful day to bring you update of all the things that they share for inside our country, Nigeria. So joining us for inside the studio now, Dr. Catch Ononuju. Dr. Catch, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us and welcome. Welcome to the show. Before we go to this SBM survey, for just quickly for us to look at some updates of things that happen for inside the country, maybe you just put your mouth inside if you would like look at them. One, now the passage of the state police bill, and people didn't anticipate. The people that anticipate say it mean good for inside the election, and I mean the way we use fight insecurity. Even though say a lot of people they complain on their funding, the federal the Nigerian Senate will pass the bill, don't talk. The state go fund some, and the presidency go fund some. But irrespective of who go fund them, how you think say it did best for us to handle the state police issues so that we can't turn out to be say the federal police matter take turn out, and for us to fit really tackle insecurity for inside we country, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I would say it's a beautiful week for Nigeria, security-wise, because our topmost problem today in the country is security problem. Then before the economy, when the security crisis started at the turn of the democracy, president after president were treating it with play, kids' gloves. But the really good luck administration, General Ihejirika, fought against the insurgents. And after that, Buhari, in his anger, I think Ihejirika's lethal counterpunching against the militiamen, started his own revenge arrangements, and that destroyed the security architecture, because he now went further to allow a Fulani militia that we knew were operating in other parts of West Africa to come into Nigeria, making Nigeria the holy land for all jihadists. So
Hmm.
if they can take Nigeria, they can start from there. So, and for Buhari to do that, he had to uh, Afghanistanize the security forces. I mean that by him, just as you can hear now, security forces, soldiers are saying no to the infiltration by the government policy of Boko Haram uh, boys who have
Repentant. Hmm.
submitted and they are being tagged as repentant. This is a policy being forged by promoters and patrons of the terrorists. This shows that they have gotten into government. By today's action of Nigeria embracing state police, it shows that Nigeria now knows that the security services have been destroyed, and now you need a new policing formula that's not federalized. The federalized police cannot protect Nigerians. It was infiltrated, it was sodomized by the use of nepotism to undermine its rank and file. And it is so bad. Look at the issue of Benue. You know, you had up to 90% of the DPOs in Benue, all of them Muslims who will do the bidding of the Fulani militias. And that's why you saw the police couldn't do anything. Benue is a good example where Buhari purposely posted Muslim Fulani-leaning policemen as DPOs in over 95% of the Benue State local government headquarters. And these people were more or less cooperating with the militias, staying hands. Even the army, when they are called, they could not help the people. So with the state police, the local people will be able to organize themselves. Let us start with whatever it is. And the issue about funding, it has been the state governments that have been funding the police to a very large extent. I know that because I participate in police armament supply program. I sold armored personnel carriers to quite a lot of states. And I understand in all those orders, it was the governor who issued a purchase order to my company. And because these governors are asked to contribute towards provision of equipment, armaments, and munitions for the police in their states, as federal government can't seem to carry everything. And governors have been doing that in a lot of states. So allow them now to have the constitutional control of the security architecture in his state. And I think that's what we're going to. If the law is rectified, the state governors will be allowed to appoint commissioners of police. And that would be commissioner of police affairs under the state governor, not the federated police. You know, you have this in New York, you have this in Chicago, you have this in London. The Metropolitan Police that I always go when I want to go see them. I go to Scotland Yard, that's in the United Kingdom. That particular Scotland Yard caters to the City of London. It is the London Police. Same thing with the NYPD. It caters to the City of New York. And it is not, a centralized thing. It belongs to the state of New York. Same thing with the Los Angeles Police Department. These are created and controlled locally. And I think it makes sense that the governors who are in name mentioned as chief security officers of their state should control this aspect of state security. That's one. Secondly, this, I believe, is a push towards defederalizing, everything that we have. And I think that's the problem we have, the over concentration of all powers at the center, which was perpetrated during the days of military incursion into Nigerian politics. Yes, we've come to democracy, but we do not have a democratic document as constitution that we can say was written by we the people. The paper we have is a manual written by a Muslim uh, general which seems to slant very much to favor the Muslims. And changing it has been very, very difficult. So whatever it is that the TINUBU administration is using as strategies to arrive at the detanglements that it is doing constitutionally, I praise the government and I enjoin Nigerians to support the government for us to continue to regionalize power and have the people participate in their life. The country is still a captured entity. After the British left, the Fulanese, using a cascade of coups, got advantage. And it is the democracy that is now making the rest of Nigeria want to decentralize its power so that those who seek to hold on to the country but do not have the numbers to do so in a democracy would not continue to try to use violence and militiamen to subjugate Nigeria into some kind of submission. I think I commend the Senate for passage of the police bill. I also commend the government for the courage, because of course I know the amount of pushbacks that we have had for a very long time that we've wanted to defederalize the police. Federating everything and concentrating all powers at the center has been the bane of the word federation in our name. We answer federal republic. We're not federal at all. We're just a unitary stone that seems not to make life comfortable for the leaves around it. We should be a forest where all leaves are free, not, you know, undermine the way we've been undermined by the demands of military decrees. I
All
condemn
right, sir.
it.
All right, sir. So a lot of people think that this is a major starting point, perhaps, or a major move towards restructuring of this country. Do you
That
think
is
that's
what it
correct?
is. There
Mm.
is no restructuring greater than this.
Hmm. So
There
every
is,
region takes charge of every state now, not every region, but every state takes charge of their own security. That's what this means. But remember,
it
it is
will,
police
it
that
will
is decentralized,
ultimately
not
come
army.
to, it will ultimately come to regions.
Okay.
Yes, it
Okay.
will ultimately come to regions because we think in regions. We don't think in states because the regions are concentrated areas of tribal demographies.
Hmm.
And that's why we are regions. We're regioned into ethnic regions. So those ethnic regions are now being represented by states. Yet our arguments and emotions when we react to national and federal politics is due to those ethnic regions. Whoever you do not treat well, you will see people from his or her region raise their voice in complaint about marginalization. The current crisis we have is because the Fulanis, who mostly are in the northern region, are very offended at the way the Yoruba man, President Tinubu, has done exactly what they normally will do, embracing nepotism as policy of his government. So it's like do as I say, not as I do. The same thing they have historically done against the rest of the country. The Yoruba man has done it and they are up in arms. But I think what he has achieved, if the state police comes to fruition, shall be monumental in the minds of voters as they go for election next year.
Oh, interesting. Okay. All right. So because a lot of people they talk now say waiting we will see which kind of shift we will see towards the fight against insecurity, especially waiting they talk about the activities of armed Fulani men, we don't cross enter, where they give problem for middle belts and from middle belt to some western southern states right now. So do you think that recruiting people predominantly from those states go help them fight effectively the activities of these criminals?
That is the essence of this state policing. When
Mm.
you do state policing, the Fulani militias will be stopped. You saw what happened in the Urumi incident. That is prior. That is the setting up of vigilantes prior to the production of legislative instruments that will now make the local policing legal. So you already see local policemen, local vigilantes, and you saw what they did. The minute they saw those people with guns, they didn't go to any third party, knowing very well that the federal police is compromised and very corrupt. If you took those people caught with those guns and were traveling in that vehicle to the federal police that is corrupt and compromised by Fulani leaders and elements, the people know what will happen. And that's why you saw they simply visited them with a jungle of justice there in Urumi. I think that you're very likely to see across the country. Why I tell you that is because the SWAT of Fulani militiamen that operate across the country, they operate with impunity. And wherever local people are attacked with impunity by such militiamen, they will respond. And the minute the news of such responses become rife due to the legalization of such weaponized actions by indigenous villagers across Nigeria, you will see that the Fulani militiamen will start to be stopped in their games. And of course, the jihadists who have driven people away from their ancestral places may then have a run for their money because
Mm.
I saw one recently
Oh
in
wow.
one local government in the east. There was information of Fulani militia actions in a particular area. The minute they were able to bring gun-bearing vigilantes employed by the state government, you had up to 66 guns. Can you imagine that? 66 guns. And they quickly went from that particular community and arrested the few Fulani men they saw with guns and cattle and whatever it is. And I think that issue was resolved without any crisis. There was no escalation. I know no more. I didn't hear of it anymore. So I presume it has been resolved amicably in line with what the villagers now do. Villagers don't go to report to third parties. It's when they report to third parties like the police or anything that the Fulani militias will now have the chance to be arrested and be set free and then recommit, become repeat offenders. So I think that a lot of the militia people quickly just dispose of these people and send them away. And I think that's the right thing to do. Allow the people to be able to defend themselves. I have no doubt the minute the awareness about self-defense increases everywhere, as you've seen in Urumi, once the Urumi example spreads across the country, I think these people don't have. You see, the US report said there are about 30,000 militiamen. 30,000 militiamen can be checkmated. You know, the minute you can see now, due to the noise and satellite in Benue and Plateau, they've relocated now to the southwest. But that doesn't mean that they can be everywhere. So all members of the indigenous communities across Nigeria should be employed. My fear is there are places where governors will, instead of employing indigenous people, will even try to seed local governments. So this Fulani militias, like you look at what happened in Katsina, where they seeded up to 24 of their 34 local governments. So this militiamen, it took the arrival of the Americans for them to change their operating modes with the militiamen. But come what may, from what you've seen, things are not all settled across the north. In states like Katsina, Zamfara, and Sokoto, there is also trouble continuously in Benue Plateau, places like Nasarawa, Niger State, of course, Taraba State, and now we're talking about Kwara, Oyo State, and skirmishes always keep occurring in Enugu from the area of Uzo and going now to this intermittent asymmetric outbursts you see in Imo, Delta, and of course in those states. Nowhere is safe in Nigeria. So I think the state police bill passage at the Senate was a welcome thing and could actually make Nigerians believe that that restructuring of the political superstructure may have finally started in our country.
Wow, interesting one. So, Dr. Catch, I don't know if you saw that viral video yesterday of some terrorists that were driving past and our soldiers and our police officers were hailing them. And no, now, not terrorists, because Nigerian police don't come out and say, no, they are not terrorists, they are vigilantes. And Nigerians come zooming to the weapon where we say these vigilantes them go. Now weapon we even strong pass waiting the police where they hail them, they use. And people say, which kind vigilante people will be say that they use better machine gun we pass on our own? Does that even happen? What's your reaction to that? Do you think the
What you
Nigerian
said,
police is deliberately deflecting? And if that's true, how do we begin to, how do we tell ourselves, how do we solve a problem without being truthful about the problem, really?
what you see, those are states, uh, those things you see are common sites in
Hmm.
most states of the north, where the governors,
Mm.
yes, that is common sites, where the governors are in bed. You will see that in places like Basari, Faskari, Malumpashi, Basa, even Sapana, Dutsima, Namusa, Kankara. You will see the same thing around Kwatarakwashi, Bungudu, Sape. Even you will see them right through from Gusau through the Talata Mapara road, and you will even see them free and on their own when they cross from places like Anka, going through Dansadao, free on the Dansadao road. They even cross Malele and all, just as if they are the lords. This, what the
Mm.
policemen have done, is the only way to have peace with these people. I think the government is cowed and intimidated in these areas. What that means is that we allow
Oh dear. Sincere
such
apologies.
and policemen waving to. So that is how low we have come.
Hell.
Concede some territory to the militiamen, and that is supported by the politicians in those states. That is the truth. So it's not a surprise that we were not seeing these pictures. Remember, that's why you saw the NSA and some other Fulani leaders telling President Tinubu to tell the media people not to show things like this. That's exactly what you see. This is what they kept doing with me. They never wanted these things talked about in the public spaces. They never want Nigerians to know about what's going on. Now it's become big because nobody can hide it anymore. Nobody can cover the sun. And so we're seeing this. And what we have to do is ask ourselves, now that the Nigerian project seems to have failed by the infiltration of the security services, by the workings, coordination of Fulani leaders, what do we do? What do we do? It's not a joke. When you want to go hard on their militiamen, they will say, no, these are our sons, they are prodigal sons, and we have to forgive our sons. This is what you want to forgive. The country is lost. When you don't have control of all those parts, look at Katsina State. The governor has lost control of 24 of 34 local governments. The same crisis.
And that was the former president. That was the former president's states. That speaks a lot.
That was the model Buhari wanted, to make the Muslim fundamentalists to hold the ground.
Oh dear. Okay, so I guess our network is at this again. Sincere apologies. So let me just remind you of that video again, this time with sound, so we see what our police denied and said that it is mainly vigilantes. Interesting times in Nigeria, isn't it? Well, people say police did not deny it. I mean, people are saying police denied it, while police are saying that this is indeed, or these are indeed vigilantes and not terrorists.
Kai me yasa kake haka ne Aminu? Kai wannan ma me yasa kake haka ne Aminu? Me yasa kake haka ne? Sun tubo agima ne.
Okay, so Dr. Kach, I don't know if his network is back. But while we'll try to wait for his network to get back, let me quickly play a video by Igboho and what he said recently, still concerning this issue of insecurity, especially within the Southwest.
tí bàbá mi ọ̀kẹ́rẹ́ bá dé ẹ bá ń bá wọn sọ gbogbo àwọn ọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn pátá bẹ́ẹ̀ òkè Ògùn pátápátá bẹ́ẹ̀ látòrí bàbá wa sẹ́yìn lọ pátápátá káàkiri ń bí ẹ bá kàn ṣèpàdé kàn fọwọ́ ti àwọn ọ̀dọ́ lẹ́yìn ni o ẹ̀kan yìí ká pa ogun Fúlàní ajínigbé torí pé àwọn bàbá Samson wọ́n ti sọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ sẹ́ bàbá Sapa gbogbo wọn bàbá wa Tógùn wọ́n ti sọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ sẹ́ bọ̀ tí àwọn ọ̀dọ́ mi tán bá dé yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe dé sítábàjọ fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ nínú gbogbo forest wa àfẹ́ kírímìnà kankan bẹ̀ mọ́ nídìí wọn mọ́ kódà bàbá bá Yorùbá nu kí inú forest kí ló ń ṣe mbẹ máa bá ń gbòòrò kó àwọn gbé náà kí lè ṣe inú forest so anybody tá a bá bá nu forest ohun tó jẹ́ ìbáraẹni kó fara mọ́ ni bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ń pẹ́ ń yọ ńgbà tí wọ́n ń tà ń bá wọn fa ń parapá náà a sì ń ṣe wọ́n tún ń jí ṣe títí tá a fi rí pa àrùn wọn tán so tẹ́yìn bàbá bá ti fọwọ́ tì wá lẹ́yìn ìjọba tó wà ń bẹ ìjọba bàbá Tinubu kò fẹ́ kí ẹ̀ mọ dẹni kankan láàmú tó bí pé àwa mẹ̀kúnnù náà la dìbò fóun àwọn tó wá dìbò fún bàbá yẹn tálàfíà fi wà tó fi wọlé tó sì tún plan àti wọlé ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì ẹ̀ ń jí wọn gbé ẹ̀ ń pa wọn ẹnì kan mọ́ lọ mọ́ kálukú ẹ̀ mọ́ lọ sí ọ̀dọ̀ yìí tẹ́ bá fẹ́ mọ jíyàn gbé mọ́ lọ jíra yín gbé ẹ̀yin bàbá ní Gàmbàrí pa Fúlàní ọ̀lẹ́jọ́nú ẹranko àtẹranko náà ọjọ́ ń dara wọn láàmú kí ni ti wá pẹ̀lú tí ẹbí mo kọ́ láyé níbo ni mo fẹ́ lọ mi lè lọ lẹ Gàmbàrí kí lọ́mọ Gàmbàrí níbo mo fẹ́ ṣe nígbà tẹ́ bá gba gbolẹ̀ wa tán sá àwọn akóńlù bàbá fún yín ni sọ Ọlọ́run níjọ́ bàjẹ́ Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kẹ́mi yóò gùn bàbá ẹ̀ẹ́dẹ̀ pẹ́ fún wa ẹ̀ẹ́lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí bàbá Bọ́lá Tinubu ọlọ́mọ pa wọn rẹ́ gbogbo àwọn ọ̀tá wọn pátápátá tí wọ́n ń kó ọgbọ́n tí wọ́n ń ṣe ọgbọ́n òṣèlú ni ọ̀dẹ̀ ìyá wa ọmọ yín ni mo jẹ́ bàbá òṣèlú bí wọ́n ṣe ṣe fún Jonathan ńgbà yẹn ni wọ́n tún ń dọ́gbọ́n ẹ̀ pé ńgbà táwọn bá ń fi kidnapper tọ́lá àwọn náà ní ọlọ́kó wọn wá àwọn náà ní wọ́n lọ káwọn fámìlì wọn wá láti Chad láti Mali ńgbà yẹn pé kó fi bàjọba bàbá Jonathan jẹ́ ń tiẹ̀ bọ̀ Jonathan rè bàbá tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ Yorùbá ni ohun tẹ́ ṣe fún Jonathan yìí lè ṣe fún Yorùbá ẹ̀yin bàbá ní pé àdùbúlẹ̀jà ní Yorùbá gbogbo tẹ́ ṣe fóun yẹn àwa mọ̀ pé fẹ́ ṣe àwa tá a wájọ́ ọmọ bàbá yẹn wọ́n tó bá fẹ́ gbèlú wa mọ́ bọ̀ ń gbòòrò ká mọ ilé ẹ̀ ká mọ̀ nìrẹ̀ ẹni bọ̀ tá a bá ti bánu forest.
All right, so that was Sunday Igboho. I don't know if you understood what he was saying there, but he was clearly stating that people said he was saying that they cannot accept any Fulani in the Southwest Forest. Say that one are no good at all. So, sir, let me let you round up on what you were saying very quickly. Sorry, sir. Bless you.
Yes.
So let me let you round up on that, sir.
Well, what I was saying, it was very simple. We are challenged, we have problem, and it's time for everyone to put their hands on the deck so that we can solve it.
Okay.
Approaching state police means we should all now be ready to behave responsibly, because the government's about to put guns in our hands and allow us to organize as police in every single community in the 36 states of our country. That means indigenous people will go and organize for their own local security. That's what it means.
Oh, wow. Interesting. All right, so let's get straight to this report by SBM Intelligence, a foremost statistics company, as it were, or survey company for Nigeria, and the report we BC then just make. Now we'll look at that report carefully and one at a time, and different things we BC then talk for inside that report. But let's just get started with it very quickly. So according to the reports, they look at different things for inside the report, for instance. Let's begin with this, just so I can see what is written inside very well. Okay, that's it. Okay, so that's it there. So they started with this, and they said high turnouts, high turnouts, hence NDC victory. Wow, that is if high turnover, if people come out to vote well, say NDC will win the election. Because a lot of people too don't talk and say one of the things or the level we be say APC go use win election through voter intimidation, voter apathy, or so that it could fit, encourage, or help rigging. But without that, in a very free and fair election, it may be very difficult for them to win because of waiting and be say Nigerians they complain. Because no matter what you talk, say you do, right? If Nigerians, if you not translate to their safety, you not put food for their table, Nigerians not go see them like say you do anything. So if you look at these figures where BCD here, for instance, then talk say high turnout hands NDC victory. So zones with the most post 2023 PVC registration, that is the people will get after PVC registration the most, now south, northeast. Now you get the most post 2023 PVC registration. That is people who don't register so far the most after from 2023 to now, south, and northeast, and also show the strongest high turnouts intention, because they did say that according to their survey, when they went out, they asked people and they asked out, what's the possibility for you to come out and vote during election? This now people will be say come out with indicating interest, say then go come out, come vote. But remember that indicating interest to come out to vote does not mean that at the end of the day, those number of people will eventually vote. We're just looking at what their reactions were during the survey. And then they said that nationally, NDC's support jumps from 32% in low turnout to 65% in high turnout. Turnout in these zones is the key to 2027 election. Now, high intentions percentage. So if you look at the northeast, northwest, for instance, you see the percentage at 82.4% of people within the northwest, for instance, say they go come out, come vote. That is the Kaduna, Katsina, Sokoto, the rest of them. Then top say they will come out, come vote. 82.4% of them. But the day the part will be say shock a lot of people. Well, more go to northeast. Northeast, the intention to come out, come vote decline a lot. Only about 43% of them, because we have to look at the voters who indicate interest, first of all, before we begin to look at who them say go win or who no go win, right? So if you look at the Northeast, for instance, they say only 43.3%. That is Borno, Adamawa, where ATIKU strength and all that. Only 43.3% of registered voters will get PVC say they go come out, come vote. And that's really bad. But if you look at North Central, the Plateau, the Benues, the Tarabas, the Kwaras of this world, 70.3% say they will come out, come vote. And then you look at Southwest, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's own constituency, only 44%, second to the lowest intention to vote. I don't know why this kind of people react like this, say they no go come out, come vote. But the one will shock a lot of people pass, now South, and Southeast. South, you had 82.9%, almost 83% intentions to vote. And Southeast, where people say they didn't even vote at all. Now you get about 87.4% of people indicate interest to vote, say they must come out, come vote for this 2027 election. Make we first of all, they look and based on the people who say they go vote. Waiting this statistics or this survey of the people who don't ready to vote mean coming 2027, to this 2027 election, sir?
It simply means that the electoral platforms are becoming defined. It is certainty of platforms that gives voters the enthusiasm. If you look at the by-election in Abuja, there was no certainty of leadership of the ADC. And so there were no enthusiasm for people to go and vote for anybody. So you couldn't vote for a party you don't know who is ahead, as ATIKU and Co were saying they would not vote. Now, for me, now you've seen the platforms set. TINUBU is the definite candidate for the APC. The NDC have set its own with Okonkwo and Peter Obi. And of course, ATIKU's platform has now metamorphosed into the ADC. Yes, it has lost a lot of momentum. It's plagued because of the current war. And I can assure you that if the government starts its attacks against the militia people, then you're likely to see ATIKU being a Fulani. Also raise his voice against the government. He seems to be the only defensive platform for the militia people. He never visited any IDP camp in 2023 because he didn't want to offend the sponsors and the patrons of the militia people responsible for those IDP camps. So this, we already know what it is. It will be TINUBU, Peter Obi fight. I've seen the survey, and it's a very, very interesting one.
I'm coming to the more interesting aspect of it because it gets more interesting. But let's look at other issues. What people think about the state of the nation right now, according to their survey. So other questions where they ask them around, okay, what's you want to think about where the country they move so far? So if you look at the statistics, we be say of the people within question, remember surveys are carried by asking questions. You go to real people, so for people that may be thinking that, oh, these are just perhaps data collected across social media and all that. No serious organization just picks data from social media. They talk to people, they ask questions from people on the ground, and that's how you get your survey, right? Okay, so let's move on. So an SBM Intelligence is the foremost survey organization, so you know, go fit doubt them. Yes, so moving on, they now said the issue of divide. And that's across every zone, at least 60% say Nigeria is moving the wrong way under Tinubu's administration. Insecurity dominates the north and southwest, while the south unequally or uniquely rather links economy and insecurity. Tinubu's performance scores are uniformly low, with the southeast the highest. So make we look at how they use score Tinubu's performance and based on where they think say the country they go for this 2027 election. So if you look at the score, 45% of the people within question talk about insecurity and terrorism, say the thing they ravage the country. 34% talk about economy and insecurity. So insecurity, terrorism, insecurity, economy. Why 13% talk about economy alone? 5% talk about corruption and just 2% talk about job. But that's not even all. Tinubu's rating by zone. If you look at how some zones use rating, you go see them there. Of course, the zone where rate them, let me quickly get that. His rating by zones, Northeast 1.93%, Northwest 2.2%, North Central 1.65%, on a ratio of 10. Southwest, even in people, 1.64%, And then South 1.71%. South self rate am high. Okay, Northeast rate am high, but okay, Northwest rate am high pass. And then Southeast 1.14%. This is abysmally low. I mean, the President, Dr. Catch, sir, this is not fair to the president. For people to rate someone 1.something%, sir, this is too much now.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with the rating. The ratings are opinions of Nigerians.
Of the of Nigerians that were questioned about the state of the nation.
Exactly.
Yes.
So those are opinions of Nigerians. That's all. It doesn't mean everybody needs to agree with such opinions, but the opinions shine light on the rot in governance and the dislocations such rot in governance has brought onto the land, wrecking insecurity everywhere, and of course, economic pain that you see spoken kindly of only by people in government. And because the poor, the average people, do not feel the comfort of all the stories people in government spin, they are likely to.
Oh dear. Sorry, Dr. Catch, have they taken your lights? Sincere apologies. Sincere apologies. It may be that there is no light there. So I'd really love to take your reactions, Nigerians, to this survey, because this survey, they a bit scary for some people. And they talk, say, if now so the election go use go for 2027, should Nigerians be worried? Because some quarters don't talk, say, well, the government don't like this kind of thing at all, people in power, that this kind of survey, they put a lot of panic and tension because they go on do everything possible to calm the nerves of Nigerians and to suit people so that people will begin to think their thoughts. Now, this kind of survey is very important. I'm not saying Nigeria not be US, so if you say surveys like this will eventually work out after the election, it will not be like that, but surveys like this, they're important. I feel, say, people will favor past step and still the present administration because it gives them the opportunity to rethink their ways and to begin to do things differently in a way to attract more people to like them. Just like the issue of state police, a lot of people don't hail them for. Again, not just about hailing them, as long as they make sure, say, the state police curb insecurity. Make it be say the governors not come politicize them or some bad eggs within government for the state and all of those issues begin use the state police against their own people again. If that does not happen, then it means very well. But so is it not now the responsibility of the president to at least make sure that almost all these governors, they're under a political party and they're progressive, so supposed to move forward a bit. So is it not now the responsibility of the ruling party to make sure that they talk to their governors? This state police who won't do like this, I beg. Make we keep our differences aside, northwest or northeast or north central or everybody. Make sure say we fight these criminals the way we say they attack us, because that's now one way if you look at things so you be saying go fit turn around the minds of Nigerians and to make them feel like say indeed they mean business to work. Because how do you have a situation where people are scoring and rating the president as low as 2%, as low as 1.something%? That's more like an insult. And you see that most people waiting they top the complaint of people are not even looking at the fact that there is no job. Did it shock you? That's not one part I even look at. Just 2% of Nigerians now they talk about job. So meaning say even as Nigerians don't get work, they are really not even too bothered about it. But what they're bothered about is the state of the economy and insecurity, and I worry them pass among everything what happen for Nigeria, because terrorism and insecurity are the same thing. Insecurity, economy alone. So economy, that means what their money can buy matters so much to them than whether they have a job. So that even if person dash them urgent 2K, waiting that urgent 2K go fit afford, they them more important than whether the government has created an enabling environment for them to have jobs. Well done, sir. So I was just explaining that if you look at the survey, most Nigerians did not even talk about availability of job or job creation, which is government never really investing. But people need to look at like say, because if you look at the number of people that are out of job, the companies that have shut down, over 700 and something companies are not shut down in this administration, according to Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. But Nigerians are not looking at this. Most of the people with this survey attract or capture, they rather talk about mostly insecurity and economy. That means Nigerians prioritize their safety and what the small money they have can buy, or the use of their small money, than whether the government even creates job for them. So meaning that they're not even very demanding. They're not even demand too much from government. And what does that speak? If a government no fit capture the minutest, I mean, what did he explain? Say Nigerians don't even think about other things that will move them forward, but now their security and economy now top their complaints and their concerns.
That is expected. The country is involved in a slow motion war being driven by Islamic militiamen. It is real. We don't need to pretend about it. It's just unluckily for us. Some sponsors and patrons of the violence are now in government. That's why our only luck is that the Americans have come. The international community are more aware of what's going on in Nigeria than the Nigerians. Any attempt by people to make the Nigerians understand what's going on is countered by the Nigerian government. That proves its complicity. Any attempt by indigenous Nigerian populations to attack and repel these attackers, such attempts are thwarted by the Nigerian government, leading a lot of indigenous people to state that from the evidence they have seen that the government is complicit. Any attempt to remove the militiamen who have occupied over 40 communities in Plateau and more than 100 communities in Benue, so as to return indigenous people currently headed in IDP camps back to their ancestral lands. Any such attempts are thwarted by the government, further pointing that the government is complicit, that indigenous people could stay in IDP camps, whereas people who don't own it forcefully take over their villages and ancestral lands and are living on it as we speak. So it's difficult to say the government is not aware. It's difficult to say the government is not complicit. If it were not complicit, what has it done? You ask an average politician, why has this, they say, wait, after elections it will happen. But it is before election that the government has now created the enabling environment towards state police. The same people who promote the militias, because they seek to use the militias to seize the country and keep it violently, not that they can win it and keep it through elections. So why do we let them do what they do if the government is not complicit? If the government wants to confess it is incompetent, then it should respectfully resign. The president should resign if he has become incompetent at responding towards this threat, which is as essential in the calculation of the people, for them to now return in the survey that their biggest problem is how to protect their lives and property. These are the first laws of government and the most fundamental of all rights: the right to life, the right to a good way of life, to the right also to what you will call a peaceful atmosphere, managed economically intelligently by people who actually understand public service. We are
Sir.
challenged.
Mhm. All right, sir. So let's move on to the other parts of that survey as per how Nigerians go vote Congo, waiting people talk on how they go vote for the survey. And at this side, nine capture waiting people talk about their votes. I'd like us to pay attention to it. Yes. So if you look at the survey as it take be, the Nigeria's mood, wrong way, Obi up. That's what they put on. They say nearly 80% of Nigerians say the country is headed in the wrong direction under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Now, Peter Obi's net favorability stands at plus 58.3%, while Bola Tinubu's sinks to minus 58.5%. Now, the NDC leads APC by 57.4% to 11.3%, with 11% still undecided. That is 11% of the rest people, them, they're undecided. A striking verdict on national sentiments. Now, if you look at the figure, right, or the table, the way they use Putam, once it passed that zero mark, it be say any other thing are downward. So the 100% for worse, you see, the way you take be Bola Tinubu. So if you say Bola Tinubu gets the score before you reach that zero mark, for say a day positive line, and then Peter Obi, and so you take B. Now, if you look at the other candidates too, from waiting a B said in survey, Peter Obi is the only candidate with positive net of favorability at plus 58.3%. President Tinubu is about the lowest at 58.3%. NDC leads votes intent. That is waiting people talk, so they go vote at 57%, and I don't talk. Now, if you look at other candidates where be said and put there according to waiting them bring sincere apologies. If you look at other candidates where they put the according to waiting, we say them talk. They also score Amechi, they score Kwankwaso, then score Atiku Abubakar if these people get interest. And make we look the score where be said and give them. Kwankwaso scored minus 21.6%. Meaning say, even though say in fall below that positive line, so he entered the negative line, but his minus was not too much. He's at minus 21.6%. And then Atiku Abubakar followed with minus 31.89%. Even Amechi followed with minus 46.7%. And Tinubu, the least, with minus 58.3%. That is, Nigerians don't even want to hear say go come. They say they know they do at all for why President Bola Ahmed Tinubu day. And if you look at the calculation of the votes for the geopolitical zones too, now so it take turn out. Dr. Catch, with this way we be saying Nigerians and say they go vote, assuming these people are all coming out to contest independently, what's your reaction to it? And make I take your reaction before I go ask other questions, sir.
This is encouraging. This is not surprising. It seems to depict the truth about the mood of the general population in our country.
And is this mood likely to change, sir?
No.
Because Tinubu is doing well. You're hailing him for state police now, so it may likely change.
I am hailing him for state police.
Yes,
but that
and others may too.
That does not vitiate the fact that the country has gotten to an all-time low. We are just when we will now approach the new reality of where we've gotten ourselves. We're no more pretending that things are okay. Can't you see we're in the middle of a war? So you can't say things are okay. Nobody's pretending. That's why we're discussing this particular survey report. Our country is not good. It's there's nothing to prove. There's nothing to tell anybody. There are no promises to be made. We've seen it all. Tinubu came because a Sunni minority seized government, and you saw what they arranged. And we've come to the full consequences of such state capture and the method applied. A lot of us are still playing the party system, but we know the party system is gone, hijacked by this minority to perpetuate themselves in power with no regard to democracy. So my own joy is the world is now interested in Nigeria as this is going on. I don't think that Tinubu will be all that successful in his ways of keeping himself in power. A lot of people have now come together. When this question started, it started as arguments over equity, that everybody has now become very, very sensitized about equity. There are some who do not seek equity. They seek to claim Nigeria as a prize for themselves. And they do not think they could share Nigeria with other people. That's where we are right now. So that's why the survey is not very, very surprising. Our country is today at a historic edge. We've never been here before. Nobody's talking about what tomorrow will bring. Well, no, everything is scattered. We're just looking for how to sit down and start all over again. So if the government is suggesting that that reset that the country deserves should come by ways of constitutional amendments as envisaged by the current success at the Senate's declaration of state police and the law to back it passed. That's all. Find the political will and things could change. So let us keep looking at TINUBU's administration. Whatever he will do tomorrow, that will be well. However positive that the state police embrace could be seen or gleaned about by eyes like my own, the country is still in a mess. It's as a consequence of decisions that leaders like Tinubu took. He was a leading member of the APC. He did not do well or say a thing while Buhari ran the country aground. You know, it's like talking about Reverend Kumuyi or Pastor Adeboye. Both of them were all in bed with Buhari, yet Buhari was leading a jihad against Christians. So the church leaders you see are not the ones you can trust that they will be polite. If the Muslims seek to convert Nigeria as Turkey was converted into a Muslim country. That's wrong. That's not fair. So for me, I think the reforms are historic. I pray Tinubu continues to do that. But of course, whatever reforms bring, we'll talk about the truths about today. Today is difficult. The economy is not doing very well. For the poor to feel a sense of inclusion. No, doesn't exist. Of course, security-wise, nowhere is safe in Nigeria. You can't plan long term without thinking about the security implications now that the Fulani militia men and their allies in Boko Haram, ISWAP, and Karua will continue to wreak havoc in Nigeria. Officially, we know all the Islamic fundamentalist fighters and whatever they call themselves are today converging in Nigeria. That convergence was brought about by President Buhari's invitation of all of the terrorists to come to Nigeria without visa. That's what happened.
Okay, sir. All right, sir. So let me quickly just state per geopolitical zone what they said, and because I need to look very deep, my eyes are the prints are really very small, so I can't see. So I had to, do that without my video. So if you look at the voting process per geopolitical zone, you look at Northwest, for instance. Northwest has about 13.5% of people in the Northwest say they'll vote for NDC, while APC, 12.3% of people in the Northwest say they'll vote for APC. And then ADC, you have about 53% or so of people say they'll vote for ADC. Yes, and then the next political party there should be an ADC be yellow now. So, yeah. And then the PDP, I think so. I mean, which one is orange? 16.3% said they will vote for that. So that's according to that. Then we'll move to Northeast, where 58.8% say they will vote for NDC in the Northeast. Is that not shocking? Northeast, 58.8% to vote for NDC. And then APC, just a paltry about 6.9%. And then ADC, you have 21.9% saying they'll vote for ADC. This is shocking. And yes, and then we move to other zones. For instance, the North Central. The North Central, 69.3% say they'll vote for NDC. 9.9% say they'll remain with APC. And then about how many percent? About 14% are about say they'll vote for ADC. That's the voting pattern. And then we go straight to other political parties. That's talking about okay, yeah. So the other people are inconclusive. So the other percentage are inconclusive. They're undecided. They've not talked about what they would do. And then we go to the Northwest, for instance. The Northwest, we have some percentage of people in the Northwest who say they will vote. In the Northwest, in the Southwest rather, 45% of Nigerians say they will vote for NDC. Very large percentage of people are very undecided, but 22.0% say they'll vote for APC, and just about 4% say they'll vote for ADC. And the shocking part is South, where 79 or 70.5% say they will vote for NDC. And this is really troubling. A whole 70% in the South say they will vote for NDC. All the South governors are currently APC governors. And then not just that, just about 5% of them say they'll vote for APC, will be their party. And just about 3.28% of them are about to vote for ADC. The rest of them, about 5.78%, are undecided. They're not. And the Southeast, 87.4% say they stick with NDC. Just 1.9% say they will vote for APC. And just about another tiny 1% for APC. What does this mean, Dr. Kaj, sir?
It means nothing. It means nothing changed. Okay.
But a lot changed. You know, the reason I'm asking this question is because people like Segun Shomi has come out to say something entirely different.
Who's Segun Shomi? Who's Segun Shomi?
You know him as your former party
Segun
member.
Shomi is a friend of mine.
I know.
He has publicly said that he's for TINUBU. He has said that TINUBU is the most intelligent person. He is smarter than everyone else. So, what do you expect Segun Shomi to say?
So you don't believe he'll be sincere in his analysis?
I don't say so. Everybody's analysis, they are their opinions. You're not talking about Segun Shomi's opinion. I'm more interested in looking at the data. The data given by that research is not new. It seems to mirror the performance in 2023 of the different candidates and parties. I don't see anything different. So for me, it simply tells you that the problems Nigeria had in 2023 still linger in 2027, 26. So I don't know. I'm not surprised at that figure. What happened is 100%. You know, the last election, the Peter Obi won Southeast, South in the same way. Had great impression in Lagos and Abuja. So the figures you poured that now just mimicked what happened in 2023.
No, but it's different because there is more acceptability in the Northwest and Northeast, which is very shocking.
Which is a natural thing that should go on. There was acceptability for people to be in the North Central. There wasn't plenty in the far North because of, how the elections are controlled. So now that Kwankwaso has come, that's a good thing. Because it's not just winning. It's winning with some culturally accepted figures. Kwankwaso is an icon in the politics of the Northwest. Buhari has gone. The North may look for some other leader to hold on to. The problem about the North today is that the North is fragmented, divided, because the jihad by the Fulani militiamen targets Hausas heavily in Katsina, Zamfara, and Sokoto. In those areas, Hausas are being driven out of their land, out of their farms, and that is very serious. So I am not surprised when we now see news of Hausas organizing in reaction to the Fulani subjugation, which has been there historically, the Fulani have, I will tell you, the people who suffered most since the Fulanis came into our parts of the world have been the Hausas. Hausa land, you wouldn't see a natural Hausa who is an emir, a traditional ruler anywhere in Hausa land. Whereas in Benin, you see the Oba of Benin, who traces his genealogy
Genealogy.
straight down to Eweka II, who comes after the deportation, the banishment of Obarman, and still Obarman's son still continued. You know, Obarman died in 1914. His country's son was there, Eweka, and of course, his grandson, Akenzo, also became. So that shows you the continuity. You don't see that in Hausaland. They've all been changed by the Fulani. The military maintained that, the British maintained it. Of course, the Fulani were hired by the British to help them administer over the Hausa areas in what we call indirect rule. But if you look at that, that simply looks like a trade, a barter that the British did with the Fulani. So after they left, they still got the Fulani to continue, but in this time with a bigger ambition. That ambition now has been challenged currently by democracy because democracy is a numbers-based business. The Fulanis do not have numbers that will help them to maintain their positions of entitlement across the areas where they have had influence through the days of colonialism onto the days of military rule. And now the transition period, they seem to be having problems. And that's why you're seeing them importing a lot of Fulani warlords from Niger, Chad, Senegal, Mali, Mauritania, and other places to come and seize large swaths of land by force. Now that Nigeria has now declared state police to be legal, that simply means indigenous people will be able to protect their lands against the Fulani militiamen. I think it's a very interesting time for our country, and I enjoin Nigerians to close their hands together, work with close ranks. This is a very serious period. Yes, it is true that the government has given them guns, but the biggest of all the guns is an AK-47. And if you look at that picture of the militiamen, they were calling submachine guns. And they were some have shoulder-propelled grenade launchers, and a lot of other things. They have surface-to-air missile launchers that can bring down helicopters and other things. So I think the fact that the governors have now worked with the president and National Assembly to secure a passage of the State Police Act, we could start from there to organize ourselves. Wherever we do not have, we will find in good members of giving communities to also fund. The governors have now started funding. Yes, they will fund. But you don't leave to the governors. The same way governors were helping the Nigerian police is the way I expect that indigenous rich philanthropists who care should also support their state governors in improving the amount of equipment, armaments, and trainings that the indigenous population who will be employed as state police employees carry. Let's give them access to better performance equipment. I think that's what it is. They need performance equipment to be able to outperform those who also confront them. So look at the kind of gun they have, use intelligence, and you can get rid of them. Of course, a contingent of the Nigerian Army where they are free, and I think I'm happy for what I'm hearing. The soldiers now, the Nigerian Army personnel, are now on their own, fighting against the do not engage, rule. What you saw, those pictures you saw, where the militiamen were going through and policemen were waving, is a continuation of the do not engage doctrine that was perpetrated and perpetuated by the Buhari administration. TINUBU has come. We need to find a way to get our security personnel to understand that the instruction of do not engage is wrong. And that's what you saw. Militiamen were passing, policemen stood because they were told not to engage. So it exists, and it can see it in real practice. Do not engage. That's exactly what you saw. So let us understand that despite the noise the TINUBU administration tells us, the practice of the do not engage doctrine still exists. That's why we saw those militiamen speeding by on bikes with their heavy artillery units, and the policemen, Nigerian policemen, were just waving at them, as if they are their friends. That's the do not engage policy in practice.
All right, sir. I would love to open phone lines. Nigerians phone lines are open, so please do want to jump in on the conversation. 0817. No, don't call. Don't call. Please just join with the link. Don't call because I see sending messages with that phone and I don't have access to it right now. So please just join through the link and it will bring you straight to the studio. It's already on the pinned comments under the comment section. So please join through the link and coming right here for the conversation. So, sir, before we continue, even though saying we also don't talk a lot about these elections and all that, I would really like tell you, also allow you, give you the permission to see what Segun may talk, make it here in perspective and the analysis of how the election will take.
I believe that when you put it that way, the election becomes between him and Waziri Atiku Abubakar, no doubt about it. And I expect that the president is going to win good numbers in the South, and is going to win significantly better number in the Southeast. Remember that those were not places where they usually got good numbers before, but they're going to get better numbers there. Of course, he's going to get good numbers in the Southwest. I even suspect the South may even bring in more numbers than the Southwest, the way I'm looking at things. The president is going to do very well in the North Central. The president is going to do significantly better than he did the last time in the Northwest. Because for the Northwest, you have to look at where the big players are, the big voices that control election and the big money. And when it comes to the Northeast, the president, I think that the vice president will have to pull his weight a little bit more, and maybe their governors will try more. But if you remember, where I expect the president to be weak is probably maybe in the North. But in that North that the president may be weak, I've looked at all the governors there. I've looked at all the big players. Let me give you an example of Katsina. The last time PDP won Katsina, one of the persons that worked very hard there was the then Director General of that campaign for Atiku. When we won Katsina, even though we lost the election, I went to Katsina to go and thank them just for the effort. I've looked now. Shema is no longer there. That guy is about now going to the, I don't want to call the wrong name. His name is a Muslim name. I forgot it, but I have it as Issa Keita. He's going to likely go there. And if he goes to the APC, that's a very big number. I've seen what Rado is doing there. Take the case of Kano, for instance. They now have Shekarau over and above Ganduje, and they have the Senate, the Senate Speaker. I've also looked at the big money people in Kano. I've looked at Dangote. I've looked at Bao. You see, these things don't yield that way. I know that from the emotions of online polling. Yes, anybody can use boots, anybody can use, want people just showing so much energy, enthusiasm and all that. But we have not seen those enthusiasm in the states. Even in off-season state governor's election, look at Anambra, for instance. The person who is from there, that's Peter Obi, couldn't even bring much numbers to the table. And the present governor of Anambra has done so significantly well and is even a major campaigner for the president. So really and truly, I don't want us to drill down into breaking it into, that's too much work and we don't have enough time for that. But from just the mood assessment, you're going to find out that yes, the president is not going to be as weak as he was the last time. And also remember, the last time he was contesting for president, he was contesting for president against the establishment of his own party. Of course, it's not Uhuru for him. He has a lot of cleaning up of his post-primaries states of his own party. You know, almost everywhere they have some crisis. He needs to
all right, sir. Dr. Kachi, would you like to react to that? Because what Segun has just said, it's it's contrary to the reports we just read out, and it's important that
Listen,
we pay attention to all of them, sir.
Shegu is just sounding like Daniel Boala.
No, now
All
in
right.
the lookup, because he gave examples.
Let
If
me
you look
help
at
you, please. Listen now, come on. Shegun is sounding like Daniel Boala.
but when
Look at
election finished now, the off-season elections, we will not see the opposition do any better. So he was correct.
calm down.
Okay.
Listen, we've not come yet.
Okay, sir.
Don't forget that you're talking. Look at him now talking about Kanu. You've forgotten that the most influential politician in Kanu in the past 20 years is Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. So I know where Shegu is coming from. Shegu is my friend. So what this is the way it is. He is speaking for TINUBU's advantage. And there's nothing wrong with that. And he's doing it tactically. That's the game. I don't need to come declare for you in public, but I'll work for you. And that's how it works. So leave Shegu out of it. Let's watch how these things go. In politics, a day, a week is a very long time. I have done this thing before in 2022 into 2023. Shegu and Co didn't give us any iota of doubt. We went in and we saw what happened, forcing the authorities to cancel the election and then started writing figures on their own hand and then went on to announce results at night. And that's why you saw fight came, because they knew the truth about who won the election. And they knew that they gave it to TINUBU. But TINUBU said, yes, you gave it to me, but you didn't give it for free. I paid you money. I bought it off you. So if they sold the power after annulling the election and saved the presidency to TINUBU, and suddenly now they are fighting with TINUBU, we know what happened. Forget all those Jews. What we are praying for is, as we're doing all this, we will have a free and fair election. You don't say because the president have said that I will do a jolo, I will rig, I'm not going to allow the opposition. Why would I do anything to help them? I will make it difficult for them to win. I will win. Why should they win when I was running? Which is what Mr. Adebayo said. He said when they went to visit him during the breaking of fast. What do you expect from TINUBU? TINUBU was talking to a fellow Yoruba man. You want me to lose? No. If I have advantages to win, I will win them. Fine. You're trying to get him to be a nice guy. TINUBU is not a nice guy. Don't forget. And he doesn't pretend he's a nice guy. He's as rough and as crude as it comes. And that's all. But that does not mean that Nigerians should give up on fighting for a better country. It was worse under Buhari, under Abacha, but we got rid of Abacha. It was crazy under Babangida. Who didn't want to go? He dribbled. He got rid of it. Once society tenses itself up for you, sets itself up on purpose against a leader, the society will calibrate everything that's humanly possible to have their way. So we are going to an election. We don't know what will happen yet, but we know TINUBU will do different kinds of things to prevent. Because if you look at that report that we've been analyzing, just look at how it is. It's scary. Yeah. Put that to what Shegu said. Shegu was just straightforward campaigning for TINUBU, but putting it in a smart way, telling you it's not a survey. It's not true. None of the people he called in Kano has the influence that Kwankwaso has. Just talking as if Kwankwaso is nobody. Same person that has won election back to back against incumbents in Kano State. And you're not telling me that means nothing. It's crap. You just hear that. Only listening to Shegu and Kano made me laugh. I said, okay, there's no need to waste. I remember what it was and I knew where he's coming from. But then, as I told you earlier, these are Shegun's opinions. And of course, he has every right to his opinion. I give it to him, but I'm just telling you, his opinion and all those about Kanu with Kwankwaso being rubbish, I think that's not true. It doesn't sound true at all. Very far-fetched from what reality is. And that's why I don't want to veer into the other wild conjectures that I've had in, parrots. So those things don't make no sense.
Thank you so much, sir. But before I begin to let other people talk very quickly, sir, would you like to jump in on Kenneth Okonkwo don't eventually collecting paper in suit? So Peter Obi court don't serve him, and then someone and make it come bring the evidences we get against Peter Obi.
Well, I have been called by other networks who spoke to him, and but I have told myself, we have started our talk back, and he's also free to go to court against us for anything that he thinks we say that may not be. But you see, I also believe it belittles our scope and our time, and of course the message, because this is me here, a special advisor to Peter Obi on public affairs, leader of all the spokespersons, now discussing about one of my spokespersons simply because he fell out and then he didn't understand our war. Our war was simply a fight for equity. That's what we're doing. That's what we were doing, a fight for equity. So he came from APC to come and join us, but he didn't understand what we're fighting for. And that was why when that crisis came, it went the way he went. I don't think it's fair that I'll be discussing about my brother every time. I want that kept away, but he's gotten the message. Stay off Peter so that we can all live happily after. To now do the job of give me money, I'm the one that will go and kill my brother. No, those things don't work. I'm his brother, and all I'm trying to tell him is the part you're going to go take money from outside so that you can come and kill members of our family internally is not the best way to do it. If you have a candidate, as you have the man who's paid you, work for him, but leave the local one that we have, who is the brother to me and you. It's not good we kill ourselves at home just because some people outside give us crumbs. I think that's no good. It's also not good that I'll be discussing about my brother simply because I misunderstand his actions. He overdid it in intentions to serve for, as they say, a loaf of bread. But in this case, it was more serious than a loaf of bread. And I think it's a house rent issue. House rent is something that when it comes, people help. So for me, it's not anything big. It can happen to anybody. And I understand how the crisis started between him and his former father-in-law. And that was the period season when that marriage crashed and we had to jump in to help. But then it has gotten this dirty, and I want to restate. He has every door open. I've seen people now start dragging him, talking about
He
his
talked about his
genealogy.
mansion. No, did you hear him see on Sunday? Somebody visited him and he posted his mansion. He
No,
even said
that's
that.
not. Hey, that's just a make believe. Hey, actors come to my house, hire my house, use it to make movies, and they will even call people who take pictures, go to people's homes, and then take pictures and say this is that this is this. Those things don't work. The problem is very, very simple. Okay, we can disagree, but don't go and say you get employed just to come fight your brothers. I don't think that's a good thing. Okay, so yes, he can do any acrobatics. He can go to court if he likes, and we can all meet him there, no problem. We are very open. So if you're telling me now that he's been formally served, there's nothing wrong with that. The idea of asking him to come to court is so that he can come and say these things. And if they are truth, let him come and present his facts so that me, myself, will know that the man whom I have been working with since 2022 is not what he claims to be. That's all I'm interested in. And I thank him that he may help me, to discover what I didn't know. It's possible that Peter deceived me, and I've been following him foolishly. So let Kenneth go and prove that I am wrong. He's right about Peter. That's nothing wrong. And the simple way to go and show that the man ran a criminal arrangement in which he was involved in a swindle to extort money of candidates or aspirants, and whatever it is. If he can see his name attached to those who ask for money, if he can see an aspirant to a candidate to say that this man I've been working with took money off him, I'll be very happy. And I will thank Kenneth. I say, oh boy, you did well. No, God bless you. Me, I know see this thing. No, you don't come see him. I thank you very much. That's all we want. There's no hard feeling. There's no war about it. It's just as you see us talk. And that's all. We discuss simply to enlighten, people in terms of our views. My own about the politics is all about inclusion. And what brought the crisis was simply after 8 years of the presidential pendulum being in the north, we thought the presidential pendulum should come to the south. And that was how we started the disagreement. And we had implosion, and we formed the obedient movement, and we hunted Obi, and he came to become the leader after being no several times. And we started moving on, and Kenneth came to join us. Fine. He leaves us, leave our masquerade. Don't damage it. Now that's our problem. Nothing. We don't have anything personal with him. Don't start throwing stones at our masquerade when you've gone to join the other gang. Settle with your masquerade. Let me also handle my own. Baby, I'm going to throw you stones at my own. If you throw stones, we will aim knives at your head. That's what we'll do.
Okay, sir. All right. So make I quickly show you what say. I make you not be like say I talk. I respect the fact say you just won't let this matter rest. But some people call my attention to this. Contact say it be like saying that you directly and I be the respond to for that particular thing we be say.
I will ask you what constitutes a mansion. He said, "Welcome to my mansion." Well, I tell you, it's not true. Those are just stories, and I simply tell you, actors can act. Kenneth's an actor. He can just go to somebody.
See the picture now. See him now. See what's in talk now. He showed the house. So the house big.
I saw the picture. Let us see
and then
a pictorial.
Say it is an honor and privilege to welcome my brother and very good friend, Dr. Kashim Imam, CFR, to my mansion in Abuja, where we discussed. So because I wouldn't want it to look like we're using this platform to defame him if it's not true, because it's
no. Listen, this could also be ATIKU's office. Are you aware? We have cross-checked it now. This is ATIKU's office. So leave those issues. When we want to clarify this, it's not posting pictures of ATIKU's office. That's not his mansion. When we want to do the clarification, we will. My story, I stand by it. And if he doesn't like it, no problem. We can go to court. These things are not what's to be sorted by pictures. It's by human beings who participated. You heard what the same thing I said was what Senator Ume said, that when you bring a business you think is 2 million or 20 million to a trader like Peter Obi, he could tell you that that thing could be resolved with about 200,000. That's what you saw Senator Ume trying to describe on such terms. That was the issue. It was the cost of the rent. Okay, so if you suggest a rent of 20 million, and the man knows that thing can be sorted with 4 million, and he tells you, and you say no, that's a disagreement. So those things are not the issue. The issue is, whatever it is, if you've moved on to work with someone else, please stop throwing stone at our own glass house. If you throw such stones, we will react towards you. It's as simple as that.
Oh, all right. And just to quickly state, say Kenneth Okonkwo gets rights to response. So please, you're welcome to come for your rights for response or response to this conversation. I do hope he obliges me. I mean, the last time we interviewed and when I did was Obi, and I do look forward to him joining us here and being interviewed. Welcome to the show, T.Y. Danjuma. Welcome to everyone. Mr. Obisin, you're welcome. Who again did for the live? Mr. Obisin, you're welcome. Ovie, you're welcome. Frank Onero, my brother, you're welcome. Let me let you guys start. See why Danjumoya shoot sharply, Dr. Catch to hear you.
Greetings, precious. Greetings, doctor and viewers, and my fellows on the platform. Doctor, first of all, let me just quickly say I agree with you that Shegun is a tinkling cyber. He has no political value. He's tried a couple of times initially to get Obi to join PDP, which some people understood to be a trap. It didn't work. He spoke so glowingly about Obi and then PDP, and now he's talking about APC. So I think he's the man who talks from both sides of his mouth. So, but that said, I want to ask you 3 questions quickly. One, do you know anybody, Dr. Catch, called Chief Samuel Onitiri?
Samuel Onitiri, you don't come. What carry you bring this one here now? I just deliberately leave that matter. Not great talk about them. I wash my hand, come out inside like Pontius Pilate.
Look,
I just
let me.
When I go to say they give an update without knowing some. I know some update. I come on my head this time because I don't want problem.
Let me tell you one thing. It is said in politics. I was told this, that it was a time when people were talking about Ojukwu and a lot about his parenthood, and then about his father, about Mrs. Hebrew, about all those kind of things. And I started asking, I said, why this talk about people and their parents going back to relationship? They said, if you don't want to be told who dated your mother before your father met her, don't step into politics. So the gentleman I read was saying that Kenneth should go and ask his mother who is Onitiri. And I was asking myself, this one another dimension to this, because I noticed after me and you did the program and it went viral, bloggers were now using it to say that they're doing fundraising for house rent. And I said, what can't be this one again? So when I saw Donaza do the same thing on house rent.
On that background, please help us turn off your.
I think it's some of the people who
okay, that's you.
To us.
Oh, you can't do that to us, Ovie, now. Don't do this now.
Good. And I noticed that also that even Governor Amuneke has also started a campaign for house rent. And then when they now called me that somebody has now opened story about some Chifonitiri, I said Chifonitiri. And the man said, look at the man's facial marks. That is not the same. That is exactly like
most especially the lips. I didn't know that Igbo men have special lips.
I don't understand. So when he started describing that this can only look like Chifonitiri, that he should ask his mother, I said, this is not, Nigerians are just something else. So you see, that's why you see most people stay out of politics. Because the day you come there and make some crazy noise, they will tell you who your mother was actually friendly with before your dad became lucky. And they will say it with so much detail. Even the time your mom came and the kind of clothes she wore. Don't get into politics if you don't want those things told you. Because those things can start crisis. It can start trouble. They will even tell you how the community disavowed your parents just because they married wrong. You say, what do you mean married wrong? Say, don't allow me to make public statement. And the people just keep quiet. Say, look, don't start. If you start this thing, we will tell you that you're not a proper one. And anyway, we've been keeping quiet. You want us to, the man will just stop everything he's doing out of fear. So that's what you're seeing. Now they are now trying to tell him who his mother who used to date before. And I don't want to get into that because I don't know about it. But yes, I saw it. But that also tells you how very dirty it is when you get in the public space and you do not mind what you say. Public speaking is an art form. It's not just acting movies. You take money and you take a script and you go and start speaking. No, movies is different from real political game. Look at all we've been talking. Security, 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 security. Me and you, security. I've been on insecurity. And finally, yesterday, they voted to allow state police. That's the kind of intelligent contributions we make in politics. Not coming to abuse Peter Obi and said, no, only Northerner can win elections, so I go with the Northerner, so I will be in government. You're hungry. We are spoken to shape opinions, to shape country, to bring about the change that we desire. We need to be that change. I have been complaining. No Nigerian have been on TV on this Fulani crisis like I have been in the past 13 years. So it is to my joy and happiness that finally the state police has been created. If that happens, we will rest assured that we will not be overrun. Federalizing police is the reasons why it was easy for Buhari to corrupt the security architecture. So allow the people to handle some aspect of the policing of their local environments. There is no way a man from Meduguri will be able to serve very well in Aba as a policeman. One, he lacks the natural knowledge of the nooks and crannies of the town, like a London police, a London taxi driver or a taxi driver in Lagos. So your knowledge of the area is a plus. Then retention of memory about certain geographies on your head also comes from your knowledge of the area. If you now are employed to do anything within that vicinity where you have some quality of familiarity, you will shine. That becomes a plus. So that's why it's very good to hire local people and people very experienced in local areas in terms of securing such spaces. So that, I say, a kudo to the Senate for allowing the state police bill to pass.
Okay, thank you. I think the lesson I draw from that is those who live in glass houses should not throw stones. I think people should learn from that. Now, but to my question, 2 questions, if you don't mind, quickly. Not quite long ago, Professor Usman Yusuf threw bricks on Kwankwaso, and Kwankwaso reacted, and he was threatening. Was it threatening, or he was afraid by Kwankwaso's reaction? And then after that, we saw somebody who claimed to be the chairman of PRP in Kenon. He claimed to be chairman. He said that Kwankwaso had bought 69 party forms of PRP, maybe, and then caused a scarcity. So people, genuine candidates who wanted to run for elections couldn't get the forms, although that was debunked by the chairman of PRP. And then recently, you now have someone who calls himself a primate, a prophet, again, on Kwankwaso. So my first question is, why the sudden attack on Kwankwaso? We've seen a lot of people saying Kwankwaso cannot do anything. It's not, it doesn't have political capital and so on and so forth. And the same thing that Shegun Showmi just said. But you remember that Gawuna, who ran for governorship under APC, who left now and is in NDC, was, the president summoned him to Aso Rock and pleaded with him not to leave, but eventually he left. And then the deputy governor of Kano State also left to NDC. And these are heavyweights plus Kwankwaso. And someone is saying that Kwankwaso is a political lightweight. I don't know what your views are. That is one. Just hold on to that. And then the second question has to do with Precious's uncle. She has so many uncles. This time, Amechi. We know all that he has said about vice presidential candidacy. First of all, he said that the presidency should go to the south. I mean, ADC presidency should be zoned to the south. He said that. And then in an interview somewhere in a TV station, he was almost at loggerheads with someone who was suggesting that he might be a vice presidential candidate to ATIKU. And then Bolaji Abdullahi told us that, again, in an interview, that Amechi, the party will be unfolding Amechi as Atiku's vice. But from the grapevine, we hear that Amechi has threatened, warning against anybody who is using his name and suggesting that he's Atiku's VP. So, in other words, Amechi is saying that there is no such thing, he has not accepted. So I want you to interrogate those two issues. Is it true? Where is Amechi standing? Has he accepted? Has he not accepted? Why is this sudden focus on Kwankwaso and attacks and all the brick walls that's been, all stones that have been cast on him? Those are my two questions. Thank you.
I will start by telling you that in 2022-23 election cycle, I went to Kwankwaso's house off Casinola Crescent in Maitama, Abuja. I was sent by Peter Obi. So I went there with my friend Dr. Nzepume, who just came from the US. And Kwankwaso had me talk with me for 2 hours in his house. And he told me quite a lot of reasons why he would never be underneath Peter as vice presidential candidate. But I told him, I said, on my way there, that I was called by somebody. And I don't know how that person knew I was coming to see him, Kwankwaso. And those people were people who were frightening Kwankwaso because they were supporting ATIKU. This is a high-ranking general of the Nigerian Army, retired, who was everywhere, worked at the presidency, a very powerful man. And he said, no, that what I was doing with Peter and doing Okwe, were disrupting the order. And I understood that. So after I spoke to Kwankwaso, I also found that Kwankwaso is also being threatened by this elder gentleman, that Kwankwaso should not work with Peter Obi, and because he was supporting ATIKU. So we later had Wike call the same man's name. So I am not surprised now that Kwankwaso has agreed to finally work with Peter Obi, that there will be this, cascade of campaign of calumny against his character and his person. As somebody who is experienced in this political things, I'm not worried about it. It was when they wouldn't let Kwankwaso work, that was when President Obasanjo introduced the issue of Dati Baba Ahmed to us, and Peter accepted it. Not because he understood it, but because he trusted any judgment of Prince Obasanjo. In this current working again, Prince Obasanjo is still heavily involved. So it's not just, that's why when people start saying Kwankwaso will jump off the ticket, all those things, they're just lying. Our solid
Just going to tell you that
assurance.
Primeta Ayodele is getting it hot from him. He has trying to sue him for
Primeta Ayodele,
yes,
Primeta Ayodele is the religious version of Mr. Shawumi. These are people who, yes, who will just say things all to protect and support TINUBU. This is just the issue. The politics has gone this haywire, and these are very tactical players playing from the flanks, pretending to be neutral players in the space. But now lie. These are just TINUBU players. That primate, whatever they call himself, he's just
Ayodele.
yes. Ayodele is a politician, political analyst, pretending to
Are
be
you
a
saying it's
pastor.
prophecy? Or it's not like he's just he's prophesying. That is God told him. Before
Please.
I finish what God told him. Day Pansat, thank you for what God ministered to you to give to us. Thank you. So moving
Precious,
forward.
don't defend Ayodele, because you remember the match we played, one of the matches Super Eagles played. He was telling the coach if he puts what's this guy's name? If he puts him, Nigeria was going to lose the match. The coach didn't listen to him. The coach put the guy scored. That was why Nigeria won. So I don't know, and that one he said God told him. So I don't know whether maybe what is wrong
Say
with the
sometimes when God
maybe.
talk finish, mercy, because where there is no vision, my people perish. When vision can't day, perish not the day again like that. You understand? So God can't have mercy because now prophecy. So Dr. Kat, sorry, I wanted to let you know that he's not doing politics, so it's just prophecy, sir.
Look, all these pastors are fake people. They are very fake. Of course, very fake people. Look, Ayodele, just like Adeboye and Kumuyi, all these people were fraternizing with Buhari while Buhari was launching a crusade against Christians. Weren't they? What did they do? Ask yourself. Kumuyi and Adebayo, they all kept supporting Buhari while Buhari was killing Christians. He took the church in Makodi to go cry in Rome for that arrangement to be organized for the church in Makodi to be able to talk to the US people about the killings. And it was the way the church, the Benue church, couched their protests in the Western world that brought this sudden attention, leading to the US congressman coming here and visiting the church in Benue, and the church in Benue taking them to the places. So you don't have to leave these people. These are businessmen looking for money they will get from politics. When a man will stand up and say, somebody should give me $1 billion from the crowd, and somebody gives him $1 billion, is that normal? It's not.
But
Where
sir,
do you get
they
$1
say we
billion?
should not touch not our anointed, sir.
Listen, this is our society. And what the things that plague our society and undermine us, we discuss. And one of the biggest scams that have been perpetrated on our people is religion. You know that. The Muslims tell you, Allah Akbar, and they use that Allah Akbar to kill people in Benue, Plateau, Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, and even places like Taraba. And you've seen it everywhere. And the same church people are doing arming, collecting people's church tithes. And what happened? Going to work with politicians. Is that the best? After parishioners pay you tithe heavies that you can use to work for the church, work for the parishioners, and speak the truth. No, they run to politicians. This is not the best. So the society is seriously damaged, and it is not good to say this person bad, that person no. Everybody don't scatter. Now you can have an average mindset of what an average Nigerian will do. He will probably see a thief that is from his village, say, Levan, this is our own thief. And because the man is that attached to him, and how did this happen? It didn't just happen. It was a strategy being deployed by those who ran government, both the army. Look at the way the soldier man wrote the decree that they gave us as constitution. See how many times the Quran and Islam was cited in our constitution. Not once did you hear Christianity. This is the kind of things we say. So when you start dividing us along such terms, before you know it, some start dividing us along tribal lines. You saw whether with Buhari, you've seen it now with TINUBU, and that's the same reason. While those who said that they'd given the power are fighting him. Nigeria hasn't changed. Our country is disturbed. So no matter what pretensions we have, bear it in mind that, as they will say on Nigerian Spirit, our people don't see finish. This is what you call see finish. That's nothing that remains for you to show everybody. So we now know the truth about who we are.
You know, say them and traditional rulers, then they're very sacred because these are people we revere. The other ones now for our culture, preservation of our culture, and you know, saying that them be our judge and jury those days, traditional rulers. Then
No, they are
regarding,
not. Traditional
hey,
rulers are appointees who are appointed by the current constitution. They do not have mandating, they do not have executive powers. They are retained in the local government system as custodians in chief of the cultural heritage and historical traditions of their people. Nothing else. They do not have mandating or executive powers. They are under the authority of the local government chairman, under the authority of the commissioner for local government affairs, who reports to the governor. Okay, most
what
states
I'm
have up
saying is
to.
that these are people we respect and revere because you know they preserve our culture. Now, people the one who need to touch clergy, and so we're
You
supposed
earn
to touch
respect.
them.
You earn it. You earn it. It's not
Hey,
given to you on a platform. You earn it.
so it's not
Everybody
served a
who
la carte. You grab,
no,
sorry,
no, no,
okay,
it's
it's
not.
not.
Respect is not served a la carte. Respect is earned. It is
Hmm.
earned. It is a sum total of all that the public have observed about you. It's like a sum total of character. And based on that judgment, respect is bestowed, is earned. It's not snatched by
But
force.
in this case, can the traditional rulers and the church leaders not grab it, snatch it, and run away with it? You know,
Well, they have shown,
I'm
just like,
sorry, sir.
look, they have shown, just like our professors. We thought our professors were the pinnacle of everything good. No, they become the ones illiterate politicians will use to go and rig elections. Can't you see
Oh,
that? Today, we are honoring Professor Nenoti. Why?
Nenauti.
She
Hmm.
refused to announce fake results and instead upheld what she believed came. How could you finish voting and only one local government? You now, politicians want to use it to derail the result from over 24 to 25 local government. That's nonsense now. So, but that also tells you how low we have gotten as a society. It happens. It happens. But the reason it didn't happen in that place was Professor Nenoti said no. She stood for the truth. And we now, that's how society changes. Everybody don't have to give in to the pressure that comes from the system. The system is the problem. And so if we can start dismantling the system by at least securing our lives, as we're now allowed to carry guns in our local villages with the creation of a law empowering state police. That's just the issue. We are ready. We have young people everywhere willing to be employed in that guide. And I want to know, a lot, and of course, now you see an increase in bushmeat because a lot of the young people they take the guns, go to the bush, and get themselves employed by catching bushmeat and selling. You know, but then when the time to also do this work, they also use the same gun to do what they should do. That's what I've seen so far with the sudden, provision of guns. People know themselves, and people know who is who in every community. So I think it's the best thing that indigenous local people are now being empowered to protect themselves on first line of security.
Okay, sir.
Sorry,
All
the
right.
second
Thank you. So
question.
go ahead
Sorry,
with your
the
question.
second question. The second question on Amechi.
Amechi is good. Amechi, the targeting on Amechi is for the money he will bring. But the fact that we're even having discussions about Amechi shows you how low the ATIKU game has gone. Previously, it's a game of finding a certain governor with cash, then talk to him, drill him, and he'll bring money. But he can't blame Amechi. Amechi is also watching. He knows that the Atiku ticket is nothing. Nobody from the north will support it because all the northerners are putting their minds on 2031. What Atiku is doing is a no man's game, and it's just a game for losers. So leave him alone. He's not in the discussion. Two people are on the ticket going on. I
But
told you
why do you
before.
think Amechi is not owning up to the vice presidential candidacy? Frank
Because
also has accepted his
Amechi
and he made
doesn't
it
want
public
to.
too.
Amechi,
Eh.
or of course now, Amechi doesn't. Maybe they've not given him what he wants. He may be
People
negotiating
at
for
some
some
point they
other
say that
bigger role.
he's at some point people say that he's asking for some conditions and all
Of
that. We
course,
don't know if it's true or not. Them say
there are several conditions a politician can ask if it's a person like Amechi. Amechi is not coming to the ticket because they like him. He's coming to the ticket because they think he can bring some cash. Amechi is still liquid. Nobody has probed him. So everything that he got, remember what he says publicly? That he contributed the most money in making Buhari president.
Yes.
And that's why, so when he said it publicly, that's why he was there in the ministry for 8 years. So he can be able to recoup. Well, and since he's been done that, nobody has queried him. Nobody has called him to go to court, not like Malami and co. You know, that's why I said, be careful so that nobody interrogates you. No anus interrogated with a finger goes free. No matter how it is, they will find some shit in your ass. So don't let them
Ew.
speak. Yes, that's how bad it is. And nobody has touched Amechi. So Amechi is still clean, sweet, and fresh with whatever loot he got in funding, in investing to fund President Buhari, as Amechi has claimed publicly. So that's what it is. And let's take it for that. If Amechi agrees to run, that is it. If he doesn't run, there's nothing in it. So for me, I don't see anything big. If he's negotiating for something stronger on the ticket, that is his right to negotiate, because he's not going to come on the ticket for free. He will come on the ticket and he bring some money. Don't forget, ATIKU is now very low on cash, not as strong as he used to be before. So let's see what goes on.
All right. Thank you. Is that all your question, T.Y. Danjuma? Mr. Albison, please, let's have you jumping. Go ahead, sir.
All right. Good evening, everyone, again, and blessings of the day.
Welcome, sir.
Sorry, I don't even know where to begin, because I've been, even right now, I'm trying to go and watch a game, but anyway. So what I wanted to say, Dr. Catch, now that the state police, they said they have assented, okay, it hasn't been assented to, but the bill just passed, right?
The bill has passed in the Senate. The bill will also concurrently pass in the House of Reps.
House of Reps
before the presentation to the president for his assent.
And
yes, after that, since it is a constitutional matter, the president might then seek also the involvement of the House of Assemblies, because you're not seeking for a bill to change the constitution.
So they would not domesticate it.
It's exactly. Okay. So I think if they get through with that, and I suspect TINUBU might use this tinkering of the superstructure of Nigeria to actually campaign at the elections. I would be very impressed if he's to pull off the one that I'm now hearing around the corner, that he is also thinking about a strong movement towards regionalization. I must tell you that I'm impressed with what we've had. I also believe we will continue to have in bits the deregulation of the superstructure of the Nigerian state. I have no doubt that's what we're going into. I just pray that we shall know how to rule ourselves, and we'll be able to make Nigeria work for everybody. Because right now, it is not working for everybody. The fact that we dilly-dallied for too long until the Fulani militias ran to take positions in a lot of forests, and from there now are causing and wreaking havoc on our communities. I think that's a very bad one, and I condemn the authorities for failing to protect our people. But I have no doubt with the signing of the state police law that people will be able to now start organizing locally to protect themselves. If the guns are not enough, I'm sure things will be set aright to get them stronger guns. Let the law says that the local people have a right to bear guns and intentions towards protecting themselves security-wise.
And then, so when will they start the dismantling of the army structures all across? I will sectionalize the southeast. I don't know if it's in the other parts of the country.
People have
when
gone
will
to
they
court.
start pulling down the army checkpoints that they have used to checkmate us.
You are talking about the old state. This is the implementations of the deep state. The deep state in Nigeria is dirty. It is the deep state in Nigeria that allowed Fulani militias to wreak havoc on the people. But you see, a dismantling of that uh, criminal version of the Nigerian state will also be helped by the availability of local intelligence and security on the ground. So I think what you're now seeing from the army, soldiers themselves refusing to allow the introduction of what is called repentant Boko Haram terrorists into the army. The fact that the army are beginning to say no to such persons tells you the quality of confidence that is now radiating amongst the ranks and file of our army. This is the way societies heal themselves. The people at the top need to show that they are serious about defeating the Fulani militias. Yes, of course. Once you give certain instructions, the soldiers will know that our commanders are allowing us to go after these people, to take them out even before they shoot us. That will go round. People will now tell you, the thing, the commanders will allow us to deal with them if they just shoot at us. Then soldiers will now go out and, as they will say in the north, choke over the people, deal with them mercilessly, because our soldiers have the capacity. They're just restrained by the politicians' advice of the do not engage, protocol. And that, for me, is what has undermined the chances of the Nigerian state and the ability of our security services to do the right thing. But as I always say, I'm very optimistic about a better country, but that will be premised on an awareness campaign that sensitizes the population into understanding. You see, when I was campaigning against the Fulani War, when I saw it in Benue State, some people said, this thing you're saying, I said, no lie, it will work. They said, how? I said, in the university, I learned in propagation. If you propagate the truth, even if they don't want to believe it now, sustain. The more you sustain, it's only a matter of time when a few who now agree and understand your message will become an army that will help you to put that message to the larger population. That's what we've gotten today. At the beginning, Buhari and other people said that we were playing. Channels TV told me that, is this not a theory? Is this not I told the guy, I told the Maokwe, this is not any conspiracy theory. It is real. For I've seen militias in my eye. And now the war has gone to Mali, and Buhari is asking all militias to come into Nigeria. Nigeria doesn't have the capability to hold down a man with a gun. And that's what happened. As the militias came into Nigeria visa-free, quartering them became a problem. And Buhari started applying for land through the Grazing Reserves Bill. All he was seeking was land to resettle the refugees who were coming in from Mali, who were coming from a fight in central Mali against the Dogons. And that was it. Buhari was not able to work with other leaders in West Africa to secure the 2015 peace agreement in Mali. And that's why he said they should come here. And then, but how could they come here? At that time, I was working with Senator Akpabio, and Akpabio opposed the establishment of a law to merge underground and surface waters and to also take 6 kilometers of embarking land that embarks in the bank of any water across Nigeria. Akpabio fought against that, and that was how his crisis at the National Assembly started, and ultimately forced him to join APC as a way to save his neck. And that's actually what happened. And I blame Governor. I blame that Governor Udom It was Udom who released documents that nailed Akpabio in Abuja. And that's why Akpabio went after him, Udom. And today, Udom has lost out in the calculus in Akwa Ibom State. So I understand. I understand this calculus. Of course, Udom was brought about by Akpabio. I don't know Udom before.
Yes, now Akpabio na make a governor. And I'm
One day,
nice.
One day, Akpabio called me and I went to meet him as normally I do, a good friend of mine, and he introduced me to Odom and told me Odom was a director from Diamond Bank and he wants to trust him. It was actually Omano who was there to want to become who. Suddenly, Akpabio put Odom there and made him the secretary to the government. And I know I stayed with Odom for up to 2 weeks inside same presidential chalet in the Akwa Ibom government's house. And I understood him and I saw. And I told God, I said, look, you know him. You decide. If you want to make him what you want, the risk is yours. But when Akpabio said, okay, fine, he's on infrastructure, Udom will come and do human capital development. We didn't even know. Udom came in and started fighting Akpabio, and I don't know why. And I asked him why. He said he needed to work with the leaders. Some stakeholders insisted they cannot work with him if he's loyal to Akpabio. And that was it. Started fighting, got it. And the rest is history. So for me, it's very, very tricky the way all of us have survived through Buhari's madness. And we're here now. And the government has now set purpose towards working with Americans, aimed all towards arresting the Fulani militias in their tracks. And I'm very happy about that. I am doubly happy in regards to the police bill. I think with time, Nigerians will be better protected. Even though we now know that the experiment towards nation building has been undermined by those who seek to undermine inclusion in our country through the practice of nepotism as policy under Buhari. And of course, that's also the reason why I condemn in strong terms President TINUBU for his embrace of nepotism. It's no good. It's no good. I just pray we should be more inclusive.
Yeah, because there was something I saw yesterday. I think Nigerian University Commission, somebody resigned and he still used
no. That is the father of the newly appointed the helmsman.
NUC.
Yes. His father was now let go for another Yoruba man to be brought. So I think the issue was when his son was appointed recently, and so one person is at JAMB, another person at UTC, father and son. One of them had to go. It's a university system. So the father has resigned, but of course, in TINUBU's
but why use the same person from his side to replace this other person? Why not go outside of the region?
We're talking about state capture. You're asking me why is TINUBU involved? He don't ask. If they've already captured.
Let me end my thoughts.
They have captured Nigeria and they're doing as they wish.
I know, but it will be resolved from him. Based on the poll you showed, Precious. Before then, the truth you say you were espousing about the Fulanese, that was the same thing Nnamdi Kanu was doing or did, and they gagged him because probably he was shouting too loud. They felt he was too loud. But that aside, the poll that you showed, if it is anything to go by, Precious, yes, I don't know the company, the poll company, how
you can kindly Google SBM Intelligence.
It says what?
SBM Intelligence. Yes.
SBM Intelligence. Yeah. Have they done it before? And how did it
Google
go?
them. Now let me Google them.
SBM. All right, I will.
Intelligence. Yes.
Okay, so now that it is, even though polls sometimes it doesn't work the way they said it, but Dr. Catch, when will, because I saw that they only polled how many? Only 4 political parties. When will you guys in the NDC will start, wooing people like Duke that is on you know, I don't know whether his party was polled in there or probably he didn't meet any threshold. You know, people of caliber that are on the other, even if he has to promise them. When Trump was to come in his first term here, he to woo his political base, the conservatives, he promised them he was going to give them conservative judges, you know, appoint conservative superior court judges, and he got it, and he lived up to his promise. So when will you guys will start wooing all these other political calibers in other parties to come and show up the base, at least bring their own people and show up the base, even if it means giving them appointments, you know, ambassadorial appointments are there, ministerial appointments are there, you know, so that they will come and help show up the base. And then, of course, what we keep saying, looking for external PR that will help in matching the propaganda of the ruling party.
What I would say to your question is that the politics, you don't invite people. People come. A political party is like a church. It's an open place. You don't go and shop people. No. People stay by the side and look at the car shops. The car that they like, they'll go and join. So in this case, people look at the political parties and look at what the different parties stand for. And the one that they agree for, they go and join. So far, what we have
Who is
right
there now?
now in this place.
Precious, are you the disturb us? Precious, are you the one playing music?
No.
Mute everybody. Mute everybody.
Somebody was playing his music. Anyway, go ahead, sir.
So, as I was saying, this issue does not have to do with you going to employ somebody. No. Beds of similar faiths flock together. That's what the country is doing. Those who agree are flocking together. Some are gathering based on identity politics. Some are gathering based on ideology. Some also believe that a platform that they are is a platform they can join with other people to bring about a new Nigeria. So that's what is going on. I don't think anybody needs to be taught anything. Some are playing safe for tribe or something. They look at parties that has momentum. But I can tell you one big mistake I think we made. We have fractured the opposition. If the opposition were together, if ATIKU had allowed it, since the North have said they do not want to be present in 2027, if we had they've been able to convince Elijah Atiku Abubakar, he wouldn't have split the opposition. That is my only drawback going to the elections. But as it will be, if last 2023 there were three major parties like this, and we had what we had, we pray when the votes come in that they will be allowed to be released and be counted so that whatever the people said will be heard by the world that are listening for the outcome of our vote. That's all we ask for. Free and fair election. To the fact that somebody is threatening he will rig, he will not hand over for population. Even if they win, they won't get power. It's not enough for you to stop your efforts towards a better society. Remember, when Trump was coming, they were saying all sorts of things, doing all sorts of things. People were trying to stop him, but he still came. So for any politician whose time has come, it's simply a matter of the social movement agreeing with him and, of course, his own efforts, which we're seeing. So for me, I think Nigeria has a very bright future. Why do I say that? Things have gotten so bad. Buhari has helped to, bankrupt the country. It came down. There's TINUBU now thinks he can fix it. Well, yes, and that's what it is. So, but so far he's fixing medicines that he's giving to the population is making them, some of them complain that the thing will kill them before they get well. Of
No,
course.
he's fixing his region. He's fixing his own region after,
No.
because he knows
You
what's going
don't.
to happen at the end of the day.
If he's building infrastructure in his region to the exclusion of other places, it doesn't mean that infrastructure develop regions. We have been alive. We've seen countries where heavy infrastructures were invested. What happened? The countries crashed. If you don't have security, you will become like Libya. Despite all that Gaddafi spent on Libya's infrastructure, once they couldn't have peace and security, what happened? Libya crashed. So you need security. If you allow what's going on in Nigeria to continue, Nigeria could become like Libya. And that's what it is. So you need to secure your space. That if some people now think they should seize your country by whatever means necessary, it behoves upon you people as a people to unite and save yourselves. If not, we will all perish together.
I'm so excited to see. All right. So very quickly, let me quickly take this question. CJ Oji said, Dr. K, I have serious concerns that state police may become a localized oppressive force without significant oversight. Who would spearhead that oversight, really? House of Assemblies in states or state House of Assemblies are like just photocopy of the governor on the palms of the governors. So do you think there should be really fears?
No. Whoever is saying that is not living in Nigeria. Let me educate you. I share the same fears. Wherever you give somebody police, of course, politics is a game you could win if you have coercive instruments. And the coercive instruments we have here, force. Who has force? The man with the gun. I agree with you. Governors, in some cases, may abuse their control of their state commissioners of police, as the law envisages that they will be able to appoint a commissioner. That's one. But that's not the problem. The problem is Nigeria is existentially currently under a state of war. And because the country is in a state of war, the federal police, this federal architectural system has been compromised by President Buhari. It is because the people do not trust the rotten federal security system that they are now begging that they should be given guns. Good. The name society is now calling that action that will now propose guns to the hands of the people is state police. Now, if we do not succeed with the state police, the country will go. People are being given guns now to defend their areas because Buhari allowed the Fulani militia to penetrate all bushes in Nigeria with guns. And he purposely withdrew and collected guns from the population. It was done like an army drill exercise. Local government by local government, they were taking guns from everybody. Then these Fulani militias came in to the country without visa. So the government organized this thing. So when TINUBU came and couldn't do anything, we now say that his complacency is as a consequence of him being complicit. And the Americans came. So we are now thinking of giving guns to the people to be able to defend themselves because the government has failed to defend them, these people. It's not a joke. This is what you call an existential period in national security calculations. We are overrun. For the first time in the history, since the British left this country, we today have an occupying army, the US Army. They came to Nigeria because of this crisis. At the time, the government was in denial. Kuchna pitched the government in the rest of the world to be seen to be complicit. The Americans, in anger, landed on Nigerian soil with their boots in anger. in arguments, in disagreement with the Nigerian government. They were not invited. They came because they saw what was going on. And they saw a systemic complicit maneuver by the government aiding this. They're using militiamen to achieve what its laws forbids. And that's what we're talking about. So it is a different period. This is an existential period that has never been seen in this country. A president came in and the president started working to use militias to overrun Nigerians for the sake of him and his tribe men dominating the country. You can see them. Some of the lousy soldiers who were also complicit were coming to make announcements that Southern commentators are the ones who make statements to say that Northern leaders, some of them are complicit, they are financiers. But of course, the Americans have already put a ban, and the Nigerian government has also put a ban on these financiers. There are real people financing this thing. There are real patrons. There are real protectors, both in the security services, like these ones who are making noise. We have problem. Nigeria is standing before an existential and present danger. So I don't think we should stop, relent. No, we should continue to scream. We should continue to agitate until the government does the right thing. Or as
That
it
is
is
why
right now,
Buhari should be stripped. That is why Buhari should be stripped posthumously the presidency he held for 8 years.
those things
He
can
should be
come.
stripped of that.
Those things
Yes.
can come, but not now.
Yeah, I
Because
know.
people,
When a better government comes.
Buhari's friends are still in government. So you don't expect them to take such a hard decision against their patron. There were a lot of people still in government
No,
who still support.
when a person who is strong comes, we have to pursue it. It has to be
The
stripped.
first,
If his family is receiving any emolument, they should stop it.
no,
They
this is not the
should.
time for such. First, you need to secure the country. If you start going on that way, you will divide those who may even support you for you to be able to have things done in the north. So allow it. Maybe tactically just pretend like you've forgotten the past. Achieve the securing of today, and then you'll be able to address the protection of tomorrow by remembering the past and acting accordingly to make sure the past does not repeat itself. And that's the truth. The inability of the government to bring actions and consequences against perpetrators of this genocide across Nigeria is the reason it persists. If there are no
Yeah,
consequences for actions, such as songs are bound to be repeated by the offenders. But if there are
yeah,
consequences, severe consequences for this very bad action,
yeah,
then society will be better for it.
yeah.
All right.
Probe
Okay.
why they brought in terrorists in
All right.
2014,
Thank you.
2015.
Thank you,
Probe them.
MC. Let me let you jump in with your question quickly, so we
Is
can let Dr. Catch retire. It's past midnight. Go ahead, please.
okay. Dr. Catch, good evening. Good evening, Precious. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Or
Welcome.
good
Good
or
evening,
good morning,
welcome.
is right. Yeah. Yeah. I got up to like three questions. The one of the question goes on the economy, and the other ones I think goes on the security and this Fulanese that has been causing havoc in the country as well. So the first question will be on for the economy. Yeah, what is the federal government doing? Like in terms of the Smith, purchasing of Smith, the bag of Smith, I understand is around 12,000 naira now or above or something.
Some
So,
places
and
13,000.
okay, some places, okay. So the research I've
No,
done
no, no,
that,
12,000. I bought this afternoon for 12,200.
oh,
Okay,
okay
some
then.
people in the southeast say they buy for 13,000. That's what I'm saying. So I don't
I
know.
bought
Okay,
today
Okay.
in the
All right.
Southeast. I
Oh, that's
paid
fine.
okay.
That's
12,200.
great. Thank you so much, sir. That's great.
Okay. So what I've done, yeah, for every 1 naira Dangote makes, the federal government take 52 kobo for every 1 naira. So when you narrow it down, let's assume assuming the bag of cement is sold from 12,000. So the federal government, 6,240 goes to the federal government. So then what is left with Dangote and other, maybe it will settle other people or whatever, is nothing. You see why the bag of cement keep going up? I feel, you can see with what I've just said now, it has to do with the government. So what can Nigeria do concerning this bag of cement issue now?
Vote in a better government, and then the better government will do things. Because if you're talking about Nigerian government doing 52% tax on Dangote, okay, fine. So what it means is that the real cost of cement should be below 6,000. Okay,
Yeah,
and then
yes.
Dangote. Now you look at Dangote's costs. Look at
Mm,
Dangote's logistics.
mm-hmm,
Look at Dangote's cost of production. And
mm-hmm,
then the cost includes the servicing costs for facilities
Taxes.
that he may have taken
Mm.
from institutions like banks. Don't forget, Dangote establishes all businesses with facilities from banks. So definitely, how much could it be that the banks are actually charging Dangote on facilities that he gets? High network individuals like him get the very best. What is the best within our economy? So you need to look at that to say, yes, cement can actually be sold for 4,000. That's the truth. But
Because why
because
would
of
cement be produced in Nigeria and be cheaper in Togo, Ghana, and other places where we export
That's
to?
that's the
And, that,
question I
and
keep asking every
that's a
day.
problem.
Dangote said,
Yeah.
because of the high taxes collected and
Exactly.
demanded by the Nigerian government, because of also the way the scams, the unions are organized to extort him for everything he produces. You saw the problem he had with members of Nupeng attached to his facility. You saw that what that showed us. You saw how Nupeng buddies were even hiring people to make sure production fails. You saw even how industry players from the government side tried to undermine his refinery. You saw so the kind of war Dangote goes through, and don't forget, these things he doesn't get out of them for free. He spends resources to win a lot of these battles. So Nigeria is not an easy place. You know, you're talking about transition from a consumption society to actually a production-based society. So those who have gained from from the consumption, uh, they make profit from consumption. So why would they allow you to go into production if your production will simply put them out of business? Dangote comes under such wars as you're currently seeing now, him fighting against importers of petroleum products as he produces locally. So it's not easy to be Aliko Dangote, but I think he has the Nigerian resilient spirit. And that's why we should all pray that Dangote succeeds. The fact that these things are being produced in Nigeria defeats all other negative calculations that could be cited against him. He has done well for us. But of course, as you can see right now, there are devils fighting against local production of petrol and, of course, local beneficiation of crude, which I believe from local beneficiation we can get up to 111 to 112 different uses that we can put the byproducts from petroleum products into. And of course, you know, we have some of the very best crude in the world. And the Bonny Light is historical, legendary. It's sweet, just like Brent. But I think the Bonny Light is good, and that's what you have all over Eastern Nigeria. So I think our crude is good. But look at the other hydrocarbon properties that we also have, like our gas, which is now the number one in Africa. We topped Algeria with the discovery of the Gargantos reserves at the Assad North gas field in Ohaji local government area of Imo State. We don't even know the capacity of that holding. It is reputed to be the largest in Africa. And so I see a lot of positives for us. If you look at right now, both Microsoft and Mr. Elon Musk are all building brand new data centers to be powered by gas, not solar energy, by gas. So for everybody embracing gas, there is something about
So,
the
sorry, just a
future
quick one.
of
Is it
gas.
gas or nuclear? It's nuclear. Nuclear, not
No, it's
nuclear.
not. It's gas.
Ah, okay. I
It's
think nuclear
gas.
is evolved as well.
Well, I don't because you see, for Elon Musk to now put gas properties at his latest data center, and what we hear is gas is clean, much cleaner than anything. The processes of producing nuclear is not as easy as that of gas. Gas is easy.
Yes, and it's more
Nuclear
expensive.
is dangerous. Okay,
Yeah.
so it shows you. I was very, very thrilled when I saw that other energy sources were dropped for gas. So I see Musk do it, and I see another company do it, and I start asking myself, what is it that they've all seen in gas? And I'm told that when you put the solar implementation, when the weather gets bad, it undermines the capacity of the solar engines. But gas just runs, runs, and runs. And I think that's very, very good. So I think we have a lot of positives to look to in a tomorrow's Nigeria. However it goes, we're sitting well.
All
Okay.
right, thank you. Would
So,
that be all your
so the
questions?
second question, yeah, no, the second question is this. Uh, you see, let me put it this way now. We know that the houses in the north, yeah, have their culture. We know that the Hausa has a culture, which we all know. Please, what is the culture for the Fulanis? The Fulanis, what is their culture?
Fulanis are primarily uh, a society of pastoralists. That's their main culture. And they are historically not indigenous to Africa. They came to Africa from uh, Syria and Yemen. And when they first came to Nigeria, uh, the Kanuris didn't accept them, and the Kanem Borno spaces. But then they went to the Futa Toro and Futa Jalon areas. They had problem of acceptability by the Susu, the Mandinka, and of course they came back to our areas and this time got lucky, accepted and given a place to stay by Sarkim Bawa, Sarkim Gober. Gober was one of the Hausa kingdoms. Today, Gober is located in Issa local government of Sokoto State. The Hausas lost their kingdoms after they accepted the Fulanis to stay. The Fulanis started attacking them, and one thing led to the other. They even convinced Hausa farmers to join in the lambasting of Hausa rulers, and everything that Damfodio promised as he came from Futa Toro and Futa Jalon to Gober, he did not give them, you see. And because both the people of Kanuri and also the Mandinkas and the Susu didn't accept, because by the time the Fulani came to Mali, the Mandinka were in power, so they couldn't overrun anybody, and that's why they returned back to Hausa land, and this time in Gober in 1804, the Sarkin Bawa who asked the man to stay and teach his son uh, this new doctrines. They were Sunni doctrines, and that's how he taught Sarkin Bawa's son, Yunfa. You know, Yunfa was a young man that forced his father to employ Dampodio. And Dampodio was there as an Islamic teacher. But of course, his thoughts were simply what they now did. They usurped the Hausas, and they say history is there today. So by the time they came to Hausa land, Hausas had culture. We had the Hausa culture chronicled in the Kanu Chronicle, and we have all those. And it was there. The Hausas saw Islam before the Fulani came to Hausa land. Hausa saw Islam for up to 600 years. It came to Hausa land from Mali. Kano was a very important
So why
route.
is the Fulani heading Islam in Nigeria if the Yorubas, the Hausas
Those were
already
what
saw
those were
Islam
what that was
before them?
yes, that was a decree written by Fulani officers in the army. You see, that's the issue. The Yorubas were already Muslims before the Fulanis came to Nigeria, because the same Islam that came from Mali got to Yoruba land before it got to Kano. The Yorubas had been Muslims before, So we were here. Islam was in Nigeria for 600 years before the Fulanis came in 1804. Before the Fulanis came, the British had been here. Before the British came, the Portuguese were trading with our people. It was with the Portuguese that the Igbos had the Arab Confederacy trading with. And the Confederacy extended from the lower Niger, including the Galas, the Domas, the places you call Uhimini local government today in Benue State, and the Gala areas with the Igbos market days of Afo Nkwo Eke Orie, down to the places of Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, and the Confederacy had borders with Bakongo. Bakongo is the place where the Ogonis come from. It is in the old Congo basin. Today, Bakongo is spread into three countries: Angola, Congo Brazzaville, and Congo Democratic Republic. That's Bakongo, and that's our history. So the Hausas had a culture; they still have a culture, but the Fulanis came and, as part of their domineering strategies, tried to outlaw everything the Hausas had.
So, but the
To
question
even
is,
wipe
what is
away.
the actual culture of the Fulanese?
No, that's the same question, honestly,
The
because it
culture.
seemed to me that they have the same culture and tradition.
No, they
That's
don't.
what it
No,
seemed
they
to
don't.
me. I can't
It's
differentiate
not
between
true.
Hausa and Fulani. They wear
No,
the
no,
same
no, no.
dress. They eat
Is
almost
that
the same food.
that's not true. That's not true.
Okay, educate us.
Oh, oh,
Because, I mean,
Their cultures are different, because you see, you will see a Hausa man in Kanu and Kasina and Sokoto in Zampara, but you won't see him in Mali. But you'll see a Fulani man in Mali, in central Mali. You see a Fulani man in Mauritania. You won't see a Hausa man there. Okay, so Fulani is spread everywhere, and it is due to the current crisis they've had across the region that they are now trying to come settle in Nigeria. But they come into settle in Nigeria, they seek to take land bearing water,
So
and that's where the
is it
crisis
safe
comes.
to say, Dr. Kaj, that they just adopt the culture of most of the people, that apart from their nomadic nature, that is, the rest,
That is
they try to
their
adopt the
survival
culture of
strategy.
people
Yes.
that they conquer?
Wherever they come to, they take the culture of the people, take their language. Adopting culture and language is just what you say. Hausa culture is still intact. By
so
those who
So in
practice it.
all of this now, sorry, Dr. Catch, in all of this now, what I've gotten from you now that Fulanese are not Nigerians and they do not have a culture. Technically, they don't belong to the North. The Hausas owns the North. So Fulani
No,
just
no,
came in
no. The
to
Hausas don't
dominate.
own the North. That's not true. The Hausas don't own the North. The Hausas
Okay.
are one of the diverse tribes in the North. In the North, you have
Okay.
Hausas, you have Jukuns, you have Birams, you have Angas, you have Aho in Nasarawa, you have Igala in the North, in Kogi, you
wow.
have Ibira in Kogi, you have Bachama in Adamawa, you have Kaka in Taraba, you have Paso in Taraba, you also have Jukun in Taraba, you have Wurukum in Taraba, you have Margi in what's this called? Both in Adamawa and also in parts of the southern Borno. You have a Karikari, you have a Babur,
Banana farm.
several tribes in the north. So I'm just trying to tell you the Hausa, but we had that wrong, inclination to call everybody in the north Hausa people, which
Hausas.
is
Oh,
wrong.
okay.
It was
Okay.
based on ignorance on the part of us,
Because there
the
is no
Southerners.
education to such effect in the
Well, that's
schools.
exactly why you should also
There's no
forgive.
education.
You should forgive those in the north or south who didn't understand the things because they were simply talking out of ignorance. Naturally, growing up as a kid, we used to refer to everybody from Kogi to Sokoto as Hausas, but it's not true.
Hausa, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
How call Hausa land is in Kasina, Zampara, Sokoto, and Kano. That's in those
Mm.
places. No, in those places, no mix. Kasina, Zamfara, Sokoto, and Kano, no mix. In Jigawa, you could find mix. Okay, then those are
Who are
just
the
about
ones? Who are the ones that have beautiful girls? Who are the? Is it Fulani or Hausa?
beautiful women exist everywhere.
No,
Beauty
no, no.
is what.
Their own beauty is distinct. I know what I'm saying. And
Listen, you're
they
probably
I mean,
just. I think you are mistaking skin color for beauty. That's not beauty. Housewives are extremely beautiful. Fulanis are also nice. Human beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. What you may choose to be beautiful about a girl may be different. I travel and I see girls in Burundi. I like the way they look. I even see Ethiopians and think they're beautiful. But I also love our own women. So that's how this thing is.
no. What I mean is, how do I describe? Their own beauty is distinct. Igbo
That
girls
no
are
beauty, no
unbeatable, no
beauty,
doubt.
no
But I
beauty,
mean,
no beauty is different from the other. It's only in the eyes of the beholder. What you
all
see
right.
as beautiful may not be seen as the other man. It's always
Okay.
that way.
Okay, Dr. Catch, thank you. So let me bring you the last question now. The last question now is the last question. Let me just group them together, the two of them together. How come about this? Why are they not saying Hausa Fulani, Hausa Fulani? Why is it the North is now known to be Hausa Fulani? And the other question now is why is it that when Dangote supply fuels to other Africa country, why is it that the same Nigerians, the same Nigerian businessmen will not go to those Africa country and bring back the same Dangote fuel into Nigerians and sell it to Nigerians? What the hell is going on? If Dangote produced the fuel
I'm
in
not aware
Nigeria,
of what you're saying. What you're saying
the
is not
news,
true. It
the
is
news
not
has been.
true.
I came across the news. I can send you the link. It has been on ground since
Don't
yesterday.
worry about
Um,
the news. Listen, don't worry about that news. It may not be true. What I want
okay.
to tell you is before you buy Dangote fuel outside this country, reship it
Okay.
back into the country, the cost of freight and then the duties you start paying for all the no, that's not going to work. It's not true. Don't believe that. When fuels are sold by Dangote, they are sold directly from Dangote's refinery. When fuel is bought from outside, you buy it at the cost plus the cost of shipping into the country, which attracts duty and all sorts of government's nonsense that will just offend anybody who calculates. So I think don't believe those things. We have problems. We have problems. Dangote
Okay.
is gradually increasing his capacity to serve us. Our fear is when he ultimately achieves this 100% monopoly status, then the country will be in for it. And that's why it makes sense that people like Bua and other investors
Yeah,
are now
boy is
putting
building his
their
refinery.
money
Yes.
into refinery business.
Mhm.
So
They
for
kill
me,
the Ibeto, and then Bua and Dangote are the only ones doing cement
no,
everything.
listen.
Obasanjo killed Ibeto. No,
Nepotism
Obasanjo
has
killed
is
Ibeto. You know,
Obasanjo. Obasanjo has done what he has done, but you also know
today he's laughing
for
to try bringing Obi, whereas he
Obasanjo
has
to have
decimated Igbo businesses.
that's not true. You're wrong.
Mr.
No,
Obison,
it
please
is
let
true.
him finish now. Mr. Obison, let
No,
him
it is
finish,
true.
please.
That one I
Please.
know for sure. I know
The
for sure.
Please.
The Igbos had
Ibeto.
their greatest period of economic expansion in their history during the Obasanjo years. Take that to the bank. Under
Which
Obasanjo may
Igbo
have done
business
what he
thrived?
did.
Which Igbo business thrived when APC never flew
It's not
out of
true.
the country?
APC didn't fly. Under the 16 years of PDP rule, the Igbos had their greatest period of economic expansion. And that was what started this current crisis. Because after that 16 years, they now saw that the Igbos grew so much economically. And that's why you saw
How?
both
Where?
TDB. Yes, that's just the truth. Both TINUBU in Abuja then, they owned, after Obasanjo, about 72% of the CFOs. They were dominant in Lagos, dominant in Kano, dominant in Port Harcourt, and that's what brought the fear amongst these people. And you saw the Yoruba phobia and the phobia from Buhari, and you know all those things. But because of the laws of citizenship, Buhari's wicked thoughts against the Igbo didn't materialize simply because of the laws of the country. If you accept them as Nigerians, then you must allow them to live everywhere they were. And he then started thinking he could micromanage the economy to exclude the Igbos. And what happened? The economy tanked. So when it tanked, it affects all of us. That's why I want to tell you, those who do what they do, I think the best the Igbos should do is just ignore them and continue on your resilient fight to gain an upper hand in whatever that you do. So leave those things they've done. It didn't work. Those were strategies, but it has not worked. It has not stopped the Igbos from being the dominant people in commerce, in the economy. But of course, this is what Buhari and TINUBU are doing is what's expected of leaders that embrace nepotism. It does not mean that they win on the long term. No, they can't win.
Chief Anyoko approached
the other question.
Chief Anyoko approached Obasanjo for the refinery license. He never gave it to him. He gave it to Dangote. What are you telling me?
That is not true. The refinery license that you see being expended in a company called Orient Refinery is a company where Chief Ayoko has interest. So Ayoko got Orient Refinery operating today with wells that were uncapped by President Obasanjo. Uncapped. You know what you have to understand about Obasanjo? He was dragged in by these people and was used. But then now at the tail end of his life, him and Tiwa Danjuma, they woke up. They've woken up and they want to do the right thing. So please, that's why I would say, leave that. The past is gone. Obasanjo today is a better person, and we're grateful to him that during his lifetime and our lifetime, he was able to wake up and realize something was wrong by the attempt by an unwritten law to exclude a large chunk of Nigerian population from the scheme of things. And that's what he's fighting against. So he is on our side now, irrespective of what he could have been forced into doing. Ask yourself, those who also worked alongside Obasanjo, how is the market for them? Their communities are being killed. Look at Gowon, look at Danjuma. Who actually would you say is faring better now? Nobody. When it rains, it drains all roofs. I don't see any roof that's dry today in Nigeria. All roofs are wet. Everybody's drenched. And you need to understand that. So that was a mistake that was done in the past. What we know today, we didn't know in the 60s. And that's why I must ask that, come what may, the past is gone. We can't be prisoners to the past. But I know in the fight for a better Nigeria, Obasanjo is with us in front. And that's all I care about, not about his past.
All right.
Okay, Dr. Catch. Please, Dr. Catch.
Just a second, please, MC. Just a second, please. Let me quickly remind Nigerians that they need to like. Make on a like now. Over 400 people.
Yeah, all these people, writing these messages. You guys go and like.
They want me to bring in Ndoki Etatem for them before they will do it. Why are they doing this?
You can only like once now.
I just told them that Ndoki has the finest brewed Etatem. Tell them about it. They will, please.
Ndoki has the finest blue water in this country.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the blue water at Azumini.
Did you hear the deep sea about the deep sea? Should be a deep sea show. I've been waiting that they want to build in a part of Ndoki Obako, right? So we're going global.
Not only liking, they should subscribe. You have only 8,000 here.
Dr. Catch, please, can you answer the last question?
60,000 by end of the year.
MC now, please, 1 second. So please
Let's make
kindly
it
like
50,000 by end of the year.
thank
All you people, even the people bashing me, go and
Mr.
subscribe and
Mr.
like.
Obisin, thank you. God bless you. You people, did you hear? Subscribe and like. Send to your relatives and
Yeah.
family members. I also start selling market. In fact, I have a market I want to sell to you
Let's
people.
make
This
it
one I want me to
50,000. It's
market
only
woman.
28,000 now. Only 28,000 subscribers. Let's make
I
it
beg.
50,000 by before the end of
50,000.
the year.
I beg.
Yeah.
Thank you. Kachineke Mizuku. Dr. Kat, very quickly, someone did ask a question. It says, speaking of approval of state policing, what now happens to people like Kasari Dokoboton Polo, Igboho, that is Igboho he meant, Amoteko, and the militia groups in their various regions? Should they be scrapped or funded by the state police government, or perhaps absorbed to the state police or in the state
Yeah,
police? But I know that, I'm sorry,
become
sir.
police officers.
Mr. Bisin, please. I know that MC has a follow-up question that you didn't respond to. So let me let you respond to that, his question, then you take on this one, sir. Sorry,
Okay.
Mr. Bisin.
The question was the other question was how come the North is known to as they call the North Hausa Fulani, Hausa Fulani, Hausa Fulani. Every time Hausa
But you don't
Fulani.
ask this question before now, Shebi.
That
As
was
you say, you don't ask it before.
that was a fraudulent canopy, a fraudulent lie, because you see, before it was spun that way, and because most people in the South didn't understand, they fell for the lie. There's nothing like House of Fulani. I've told the people before, 10 years ago, it's a fraudulent canopy. And that's what I teach in my DST classes. I tell my students that this is a fraudulent canopy. It doesn't exist. Okay? You cannot be called a Yoruba Igbo person. It doesn't exist. You can't call a
Okay.
Yoruba Fulani person. It doesn't exist. So if once you cannot use the word Kanuri Igbo, it doesn't exist, or is on Yoruba, such a fraudulent terminologies, it doesn't exist. In
Okay.
Nigeria, you are the son of your father. That is our custom in Africa. So you cannot have two fathers. And you are legally under our laws the son of your father. That's why you see Precious calls herself Ndoki. Even if her mom may have been married from Asa, which is normal, because you see a lot of Ngwa people and Asa people marry Ndoki people. It happens everywhere, okay? And you have a lot of even Ikwere people marrying Ndoki people. There's nothing wrong with that. But you doesn't,
Including
nobody
Ogoni
will look,
people too.
is there?
Ogoni and Bonny Opopo, they marry us a lot. We marry each other
Of
a lot.
course, they marry you because all of you are riverine people. You are what Igbo calls Nde Oru.
Mbamiri.
The
Mbamiri.
Oru is the name
Okay.
Igbos use for that
Yes.
Mbamiri.
Okay.
The Oru are the Igbos who live beside the water.
Hmm.
And that's what it is. And most of these Orus were principal Arab players during the period of Arab Confederacy from 1640 to 1900. That's at the end of the Anglo-Arab War. And that's how the administration of the Warren system started, 1900. After they took away Jaja, then they did the punitive expedition in Benin, took away the Arrow through the Anglo-Arab War, and set up what they call the West African Frontier Force with the Kanuri boys given to him by the Shehu of Borno. So for historically long time, the British have not been very fair to us in the South, and that's why you saw those things. See, they took away Jaja. You remember Jaja? Uzurumba
Yeah, Jaja
Banaso.
Kobo. Yeah.
Yeah, Georgia
Uzurumba
Koko.
Banaso, whose
So
real name is Uzurumba Mbanaso. His guy name is
we call
Joa
him
Joa
Jua Jua.
Mabu.
I
Yes,
was going to
that
say.
Joa Mabu. That's
Mhm.
what they call to Jaja. Joa Mabu means ask before you kill.
Before you kill.
Yes, Jaja is from Umudroha. His mother is from Umuokonofo in Umuchoko in Amiibo. And he
Amiibo,
was
yeah.
kidnapped by Nkwere slave traders who took him from the Umunyem village as he came to Umuchoko to see his mother, and then sold him to Bonny trading houses who now kept him. And of course, he became smart. At the end of slave trade, the latest business was oil. And that's how Jaja's experience of the hinterlands helped him to come back to the hinterland, took people from my village, Umunyamunkwere, took people from his mother's village in Umokronfo Umuchoke, and then went to establish Opopo. That's why those Igbos who went there speak Igbo. But those who came from the BBOs are what you now call Nkoro people. They speak a language called Defaki. So that's the principle, truth about the foundation of the last settlement in River State called Opopo. At the time Opopo were settled, already the Ogonis had come from Bakongo, but at the end of slave trade, they were now kept in Port Harcourt and stayed in their current place. And so that's what it is. They are all Africans and we're all one. And I think now that the British have lost the right to the Americans, I pray the Americans are able to work with us to grow our society. Our
Okay,
country
Dr.
looks like a
Okay.
primitive place.
Yeah, the reason why I put that question to you, you see, when we try to translate some languages here, maybe to different languages here, that name, Hausa Fulani, always come out in the list as well. So I'm
Oh
Yes,
yeah, you
because
won't
surprised.
do
they
now.
use it.
MC
There
is
is
enough
nothing
now,
like
please, so
that.
that he can quickly attend to other
No,
questions now.
you can't see.
The
No, only
Fulani
outside
language
go
We
is
see.
just,
Oh, I
Fulfude.
never
President, we
see
just
Hausa
need to
Fulani.
understand it. That is why I'm
But he has
asking.
told
No,
you that
MC.
he's told you that. So
MC,
Listen,
I
why
I've
have
just told
never
you what
you
it
are
seen.
is.
regurgitating what he said
It
already?
doesn't
He's
exist.
answered
It's
you
a
that it's not,
fraudulent
that it's
It
canopy.
fraudulent.
doesn't.
Discard it. The language of the Fulani is Fulfude. The language of the Hausa is Hausa language. Two of them are not the same. They don't even sound the same. They
No, but
have
it
not
It's
doesn't
all
existed
right.
in
even
It's
work
all
any.
right,
that
Dr.
way.
Catch.
When
Thank
you
you
go,
very
you
much.
only
I
see
really
Yoruba,
appreciate you.
Igbo, Hausa. Those are the
Thank you very
major
Dr.
much.
languages you
I
see.
really appreciate you. Thank you.
Dr. Catch, please, going to the question that was asked about the state policing and how to absorb the Tompolos, Asaris, and Igbohos and the rest of them of this world, whether to
Very
absorb them in the
easy.
state police, yes, or
Very
fund them
easy.
separately as to retain their vigilante or whatever it is that they are doing.
Yes. The state policing action was actually organized for them. Local people, yes, the local people have a chance to join with local command structures, and that's what it is. So when the employment game comes to Sunday Igboho's place, if he can be able to put some of his militias or even appoint all of them, if the commissioner gives him the authority, they are doing it 15 persons per autonomous community. So, and if you come to a local government, some local governments in the east have up to maybe 20 autonomous communities. Some have 10 autonomous communities. Some have maybe 13 autonomous communities. Some have 30 autonomous communities. So if it's a local government with 30 autonomous communities, you have 30 times 15 persons. That's the recruiting game. So if you now go to where Igboho is or where you have Asari, nothing stops them from infusing their boys into the local militias. That's what it will be. It will be them, the local boys, being now given official guns to hold their fort in recognition by government. And that's, I think, a very simple thing. So instead of the local warlord paying the boys, the state will pay them and they will cover that place and secure it for the state. And of course, the regimental law and order, you will no more be loyal to your boss. No, you'll be loyal to the commissioner of police appointed by the governor. And that's how it is. But of course, in your local areas, you cannot be locally attached to your local boss if your boss is made what they call the local government or local commander of that unit. It's already operational and we're seeing it a lot of places. And I'm very, very, very impressed with the ability of people to come together. If you go to a local government with, say, 30 autonomous communities, that's beautiful. Okay? Because you see some
If they
towns.
start going out of line, who will checkmate them?
Well, the law is there. Nothing,
Okay.
these things are not new. Don't forget we have LASMA. LASMA is traffic police. Don't forget that. We have things like Hizbah. Hizbah is the Islamic police. Don't forget that. So we have had a history of this kind of things working in Nigeria. And nobody lost his head. So I don't see why this one would be different. There's the same people. Nigerians picked from communities that are known, attested to by stakeholders. You don't just bring yourself. You're suggested by a stakeholder. That's how it is. Nobody carries a gun because he brought himself to enlist. It's not true. Communities are asked to choose their trusted sons for onward employment in the local vigilante. That's how it works. That's how it works. People don't just come from anywhere to bring themselves. No, you come through community recommendation. That's how it works.
Okay.
Okay.
It's all
All
right.
right. Okay. All right. Do we have further questions very quickly so we wrap up for the evening? I think we've really stretched the show. I appreciate you.
Yeah, let me
But
go and
before we
watch
go,
my
make I
game.
quickly show you waiting. People just, I don't know why you, Dr. Catch, I want to report to these Nigerians to you. See what they're doing to our first lady. Just because our first lady gave people good thing and
We're
she's
trying to
narrating how
give
she gave it.
hope,
People are not
and
using it to
to
talk.
start Akara business doesn't take a lot of money.
This is
To start
beautiful. This is democracy.
roasting corn, or
This is how it
somebody even
works.
said about grant. You see, they're saying that
So
cooling
that's nothing wrong with it.
doesn't take much. We didn't give them a loan. We gave it to them as a grant. So we've encouraged Nigerians as best as we could. What is within our hands, I have given, and I keep giving. And those are the things we've done. I remember giving for TB. When I heard there's so much TB cases, I gave 2 billion. To breast cancer, I gave 1 billion. To food malnutrition, I gave 500 million. So those are the things we've been doing and making sure we can make sure that whatever this government is trying to do, that it will see the light of the day. So in agric we've done, in social investment we have, in education we've given a little bit of scholarship, ICT training, and with NIDA. So, and all those are things, and we are still open, still want to do more. The narrative has really changed, has changed to challenge the average man. Whereas the average man is supposed to have hope. So I like the idea that Mr. President said, this is the...
All right, sir. So is it because why Nigerians are ungrateful? Say money where she gives too small, as she
There's
say,
nothing like being ungrateful.
business.
Now
You're
she get
hearing
money.
confessions of a crime. Why are you talking like that?
Sir,
She's confessing that she's confessing that she's committed a crime, and you're saying
Hey.
Nigerians are.
Is it her money she's giving? Is it her money?
She her money.
Of course. What office?
Public money?
What
She
powers
said they
does
are
she
job
trying
have?
does
to
she
help
do?
people to the best of their ability now.
Who gave her the money?
Is
How did she get that
Is
money?
it her money? Is it her money?
Who appropriated such expenditure for her? Who approved
Is
it?
it her
Precious,
money?
I don't know why you dey
No.
talk like this sometimes. So
Hell, but the first lady is just being
Precious is their
helpful.
now she
spokeswoman.
get
She's
money.
their
Now she get the
spokeswoman.
money.
She's not her money. Where did she get it from? He's stolen money. What law appropriated money to her office? How come she's spending? How?
Is there any
What
first
law?
lady in
What law?
the
What
constitution?
law?
The constitution, did they
Said
allow
gave her
first
money.
lady?
After punching Nigeria into poverty, after pushing Nigeria into poverty, then the
He
money
said
you people are
a
sharing the
woman
money
will be
among
doing
yourself
kuli. So now kuli, a woman go send
to
her
control
children
the
to school.
people.
Huh?
Pressure, if you not just
Look,
bring that topic come here, if
this
you
is
not
just
just bring
another
that.
strategy for them to just steal
Why not
money
they do like this
and
now?
throw
But
it away.
people say no empowerment, no job creation. Person can't give grant. Oh yeah, Dr.
Which
By
Kachi,
job
who?
give
empowerment?
By
When
grant.
they
To
who?
refuse,
By
fight
they
who?
refuse.
kuli.
And I
With
wanted
just
to use
refuse
this
to
To fight
create job.
kuli is empowerment.
hey, and I
When
wanted
they
to
refuse
use
to
this
Kuli is
good
create job
news,
for
empowerment.
oh,
people.
and I wanted to use this good news for us to end the show.
Which good
I thought
news?
I was doing good. Sir?
When
You
they
just
refuse to
If
create
angered us.
hospital, they
if you
refuse to
want good
create
news
job, they
here,
refuse to create school.
Netherlands
I'm
Netherlands
very, very
is
angry
defeating
to notice
Tunisia
this kind of
1-3-1. That's good
massive
news.
stealing. I'm not
Oh,
happy at all.
good evening, Doctor Mr. Odili. You're my brother from River State, Mr. Odili. See the good news where I bring. Come on, see the way they attack me. I beg, come rescue me.
I want to ask question.
Oh, yeah, ask quick. Thank you.
Why is our first lady not giving his own daughter that wants to be a geologist to be selling kulikuli and akara?
No, the other gonna be her
Kuli
daughter.
atepa.
Okay.
But you know, all fingers are not equal. So you help people based on their capacity. Oh, yeah, sorry, sir.
Who give
Okay.
her money?
So the kuli will send her children to school.
And
The purpose. Oh God. I don't know. I
Another
don't know.
Why
thing.
are they using, can I ask this to Dr. Cash? Why are they using the governors to be in charge of the police, like the federal, where the president is in charge of everything about the police? At least they can do it on vote. Like, as they are voting the not in, they can vote the commissioner or whoever that is going to be charged in.
Who will he be answerable to? Who will be the commissioner be answerable to? Even if you do voting, who will he be answerable to?
To the governor.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll be answering the governor, but the governor cannot tell you what to do because he's not
You
the
know,
one.
the possible the one at democracy people. Let Dr. Kat answer you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, Dr. Kat, let me let you respond to that as we
I think what he has said is his opinion. If this opinion is good, you can still write a memo and take it to the House of Reps. So the House of Reps can include this opinion if it is accepted, so that during the final harmonization of that bill, since the National Assembly has now seen the Senate passing zone, and this your suggestion is included in that of the House of Reps, if it is accepted, then you can see this. That's how laws are made. But if they think the right thing to do is to allow the governor, who will fund the local police, to also make appointment of who he trusts to be his commissioner of police, then this your suggestion would not fly. So I think for the way it is now, it's good that we already have that, attempt to defederalize the police force. When you defederalize it, that's very, very good. Individual states will be able to appoint who they want. So you'll see, whoever is the commissioner, who he will use in any given area. You don't bring somebody from Meduguri and tell him to come to my place in Diobo, in Mile 1, in Port Harcourt. How would he know? And if I go to Nanka Waterside or Afibo Waterside, how
now
would
my
he know how to
backyard be
come
that
and meet
too.
me there?
I take no nanka water. Say, Dr. Kat, if you don't follow me when I small.
Because last
Now
week
my
I
hoods.
went to Nembe Waterside to go and buy Ikili. I buy some.
Oh,
I buy
chim.
yes, and those are the things that you need a local person who understands the terrain to understand. And how if they tell him that I ran away to Burukiri, how will he know how to pursue me to go? He doesn't know it even. So let's start getting real.
All
I
right,
believe
thank you.
very well that the
Dr.
crisis
Catch.
we've had have taught us well. Yes.
Dr. Catch, I hope, what I'm trying to say, I hope these people will carry out serious vetting on these people so that they don't go and give guns to people that will not be terrorizing the state again.
Don't
That would
worry
be another
about it.
ethic.
Don't stop talking. The
No,
people who are giving guns are sons of the community who are nominated by the community. I've told you this before. The
yeah,
government is
I know.
not
I'm just
the
saying it.
government is not employing anybody on its own. These people being employed are normally dominated from the community. And then the community will now do what? Send such names to the state capital, where they're now called, enlisted, and taken to training before they are commissioned. This is properly done. Don't worry about those things.
Okay, it's
Okay,
all
sir.
right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
so
Thank
very
you very
quickly, sir,
much.
whilst we try to wrap up, since you people don't like the good news that I give, can you help us talk about this Michael Zekome's sandship that they descend him?
Well, that is not an issue. The bench and its privileges committee know the truth. There are things that members of the public cannot say more. They know how to investigate. They have done their duty. And since it is within their rule and within their powers to so act, probably based on recommendations from committees, they've acted. I wish my friend Mike be able to go through and survive this very, very harrowing time. Ozokome is somebody that I like very well. I worked very closely with him during the burial of our friend Raymond Dokwesi. And this is a downtown for a lawyer, and then whatever it is. Being a tough boy is you do the game. When there's a fall, you just take the hit. There's nothing wrong about that. It's part of life. Nothing in life is smooth. Not be every motor person enter will reach where they go. Some cars will get spoiled on the road, and then you
But they're
probably
still investigating him now. How is it concluded? The investigation?
If they're investigating him, that's their business. If they have suspended him so that they can be able to investigate him, that's probably in line with their procedures. But
do you think it's in any way politically motivated, sir?
No. When it is,
no, it cannot be.
This is not, because what is now you're talking about is his own constituency. The lawyers' council, and in those places, no, you cannot intimidate a lawyer of Ozokome standing. It is not true. It's a mafia in the game. It just say if the thing has gone wrong, it has gone wrong. So let's just take it at that. It's nothing abnormal. People do fall on the other side of the rules. When they fall, they will just take their time. And then I think he will also do his own time. If they suspend him, depending on how long the time is, he will do his time. And when he gets well, they can readmit him. So for me, I don't see anything that's abnormal in it. It's like death being used by nature to cleanse, space, so that contaminated people go away, so that the healthy will stay and don't get contaminated. That's why I see death. So I don't see any big issue. Mike's tripping, it's historical, it's normal in life.
So here's the part. All right, thank you so much.
I'd like to say
thank you to everyone. I'd like to say big thank you to everyone, please. Thank you so much. Let's coast home down, please.
You don't tire.
Why you did not be you? You the worry. MC the worry. You the worry.
Precious. If I not worry, what thing I know today or where I did today, I not go there. If I not did that, I did that Ija worry to do things, put things right. Where I did today, I not go there. So not say I worry, I'm not the worry. I'm just curious
but sometimes
to know.
Just allow some others to also put mad for talk now.
Yeah, I don't disturb anybody since now. I
your
get on my
class teacher
own
don't
now.
hear me when you day school. The class teacher, I sure say she could bring you come close to her seat so that you go feed them one place that time. I saw them do you for school.
Dr. Cash, I said Dokubo say they go fight, they carry war girl at those states. You never come across that video.
Asari way to say he go fight Americans if they come Nigeria.
He say they go fight them, but don't say they carry war girl at those states.
When you talk, say he go fight anybody where Trump brings. This is where they come. Waiting Asari don't do. I beg, leave Asari alone. I beg you, leave my brother. I beg you.
Thank you so much. We really enjoy your company. Thank you so much.
Allow Edi Abali to be. I beg you.
You people are turning our Edi Abali to comedian. You're turning our Edi Abali to comedian. That's not good.
Why now? Allow my Edi Abali to stay. Let him say what he likes. Is it anything that...
Those states who they don't send message to already say if he come, he
so
not
the
go
whole
back.
Press conference for your head, sir. I see.
I
just ignore him.
They say he not go back. Maybe he don't
That's
know.
for you to understand. Look, the country is changing. But
look at what happened the other way. Does he have any beef with the king, with those Oba?
No,
he want to go fight for land where he not gets. Tompolo will befriend them, will befriend those state people. It is said Tompolo not know what they do when he befriend those state people. You say they carry war, they go. Now they say make you come. They say make you come. If he come, he not go back.
People are different. Don't forget Tompolo na Nzoman, Asare na Igbo man. So they are bound to approach Nigeria.
Asare not be say Igbo now.
You not
be say Igbo now.
No. Listen.
Make you know here, Dr. Kachin go come for you.
No, it's Igbo. No, he agreed. He agreed that he has Igbo blood, but it's not 100%
don't forget
Igbo.
Also that in River State, Asare identifies as a Calabari man. The Calabari through history are Igbo. David West, now Oswago. So leave all that. That was why during the creation of Bayelsa, them and Ogoni refused to join Bayelsa. Even Ahoda refused to join Bayelsa. It's not like Ndoke that is Igbo, spread all over the place. Ndoke is there in Obibo. Ndoke is there in Afam. Ndoki is there in
Even Akwa Ibom.
in Akwa Ibom. Ndoki is there in Azumili. And Ndoki has the best blue water that you can think about.
Dr. Catch, I like the way you're telling this to Uncle Day Pansat.
Dr. Catch,
I like the way you're telling Day Pansat that we have the best blue water.
Is your wife Ndoki, Dr. Catch?
No,
His
I
wife
have
does
very
not
good
have
friends
to
who
be
are
Ndoki for him
Ndoki.
to market
You know,
Ndoki.
I have very good friends who are Ndoki. My well-respected senior brother in school, until today, my senior senator, ambassador Okemuche is an Ndoki man.
Okay, Muche.
I always go to Azumini to visit him, and I'm very happy to know such a person. Ndoki people are great people. You cannot
Very
joke with
hospitable
that.
people. And I hear can you people hear it? Thank you. Now, on these good notes, this is the good news. Since the first lady's news is not good enough, let's use this one as the good news.
Yes,
to
let
end
us
the show.
close on this one.
You see
Ndoki
that
is
first
good.
lady news. You see that first lady. Not carry and come here again. Not carry and come here again.
And I can't do like say I won't buy cane for me. The one that gather me, why not they do like this? That me Abiona Bebo.
They no gather you. You no do nothing.
Thank you so much, Dr. Catch. I'd like to say a big thank you to you. It's always a pleasure to have you on this platform and to educate us. I am going to do something. I think I'm going to create a folder for most of the things you say about history. And I'll just put it there as history to archive it so that anybody who wants to hear what you say about history can just come on this platform and just go to that archive of history and listen to the things you have to say, because it pain me say they let most of the things where you talk the loss. So I go to cut out the excerpt of what you talk about history from today. I feel not do the past ones, but anything where you talk about history from today, I go cut them out, archive them, put for corner, so that years to come, even when I no go there alive again, make children go there, make them go, give them the appropriate headline, make them go, they see, they learn what's they happen for our country. I appreciate you big time, Dr. Catch. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you very much for having me.
May God bless you with more wisdom and keep you long in good health to enjoy the life that you have been blessed with, because He will give you more life. They make you chop life. We see that you like to enjoy life well, and God will give you everything you need to enjoy more life. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
I thank you
guys.
and everybody.
Thank
Till
you.
next time.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. So if you've not liked and shared, please ensure that you do so. Please kindly like, share, subscribe to the platform. Now subscribe. Now send to your family members to subscribe. All right. I love you guys and appreciate you. But in all of this, remember to protect your mental health, because you know what I always say, he who worries about Nigeria runs away, lives to worry another day. So I beg, not gonna live to worry another day. I beg. Thank you so much. Good night and God bless you. Bye.